This is Papa Smurf. You're listening to Our Lifestyle, the podcast, with ODB and the Mayor.
Yo, it's ODB. This is Our Lifestyle podcast. We're getting ready to jump into the fresh episode, and we want to thank our title sponsors, which includes Custom Car Show Productions. They have 3 key events every year. Orange Beach Invasion every March in Orange Beach, Alabama. Scraping the Coast every June in Biloxi. And Bayou Showdown, which is every November in Slidell, Louisiana. We also want to thank Mini Truck Showdown Family, which includes their event, their flagship event, the first weekend in June 2022 in Las Vegas, Mini Truck Showdown. You can go on Facebook or Instagram for more information. They also have Kern County Showdown, which is going to be in Bakersfield, California, the first weekend in February 2022. Thank you so much. Support those that support the scene, and on to the episode.
Let's try it again.
Is this a Smut Man?
Smut Bandit.
Yo, it's Our Lifestyle podcast, also known as OLP, coming at you with episode 271. We got so much to talk about on this episode. You heard just a minute ago when we played at the top. We got to give a huge shout out to Custom Car Show Productions. Looking forward to Orange Beach Invasion, Scraping the Coast, as we said, later this year. And thanks to Corey, he came on last episode. Talk about in less than a month, you got Kern County Showdown out there in Bakersfield. And then, of course, you got Mini Truck Showdown. About 5 months from now, out in Vegas, we'll be out there. But before we get started, I think I hear some noise, some wrestling. You know what, Mike? Are you in the effing house for 2022 or what?
Bro. I'm here, and I'm coming off the top buckle.
Dude, I'm excited. DJ Mays, okay?
Yeah.
He is the... dude, I love seeing him at all these different shows. He's going to be at EBGB. Do you know what EBGB is?
Well, let's try EBGD. That's Eastbound Get Down.
EBGB.
Car Truck. Yeah. Show coming up at Destination Daytona next weekend, brother. And I can't wait. It is almost showtime.
I would please ask that everyone go out and download Twitch. Okay, not Twitter. Download Twitch and follow DJ Mays Radio. He's one of our homies. And I talked to DJ Mays. Mike and I know, Mike, you've said you're going to do this, so I'm going to hold you to it. We're going to go up to St. Louis in May.
Yes.
For Relaxin'. Do you know which Relaxin'
is?
Right, there's a couple different ones. I was getting ready to ask you, but you blurted it out there.
Oh, sorry.
Do you know which Relaxin', it is? Or, there's a ranch, there's the West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, anybody killer. But do you know which one we're talking about in May? Relaxin'.
Yes. Relaxin' in the park?
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Relaxin' at the Smut House, but that wasn't it.
Oh, yeah. No. No Smut House here, baby. No Smut House.
Dude,
no.
If I can somehow get DJ Mays from DJ Mays Radio to take us to the pastrami sandwich place, dude, you're going to want to move up there, dude. It's so good. Went there. Dude, Riggedy Ron was there when I was there last time. It's going to be a great time, so we're looking forward to that, aren't we, Mike?
Bro, I can't wait. And, hey, guys, you know what's going on this weekend? This weekend is Dragging the Alley. This weekend there in Orlando. So make sure you guys are going to on Instagram. Go check out the Instagram or Facebook. Get the event page. Check out the event page. Get the address. But it's going down in Orlando this weekend. The guys from Aftermath putting on Dragging the Alley. It's club versus club bowling tournament. So make sure you guys are there this weekend and check that out because you don't want to miss it. It's going to be awesome.
Real deal. So as we get going with 271, want to just kind of throw out a few things. One, for this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about 2022. We're also going to pay our respects to Alex Anderson, a.k.a. Alex Who. He unfortunately passed away, so we will talk. Believe me, we will talk about that. We are saddened by the news. We have been working on the upcoming episodes. So we've got some cool guests lined up. We've done some audio, but we did want to just kind of stop at least after the amazing Mike Collins episode last week and just reset, talk a little bit about this year, and then again, pay our respects to our homie, our brother. Many of you knew him super well. Alex, who also known as Alex Anderson. So rest in peace to the OG. We lost someone else as well, and we will talk about that. But Mike, the overview of episode 271 brought to you by Graphics Mafia. We tell you time and time again, if you're looking for light design work, maybe a wrap on your car, maybe you've got some stickers that were made 20 years ago and you want to replicate them, hit up Buddy or Ryan at Graphics Mafia. It's GRAPHIX Mafia.com. They're on TikTok. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. They're great people. They'll take care of your SEMA stickers, whatever you need. Just hit them up. And Buddy and Ryan, Mike, right, they're ready to smuggle those in. They'll smuggle dope, meaning vinyl, across state lines in any state. They've done it all. We've seen some of it. Some of it we can't even say because it's been a little crazy with those guys. You know what I mean?
Hey, but they always keep it legal.
Legal, not illegal, right? So, like,
True.
if you're ever with a DEA agent and you've ever described, like, every bad drug in the world, you go, let me just get this right. Everything so far is legal. You know what I mean? And have them tell you it's illegal. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, I never signed a piece of paper that said that I knew what was legal or illegal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what bad for me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, they're grown men, so, we can't tell them what's right and what's wrong either,
Right, right. You know what I'm saying?
But at the end of the day, they do killer work, great work, and, if you need any sticker work done, banners, they're making a bunch of yard signs for me for Eastbound Get Down. Shameless plug again. So just make sure you guys hit up, hey, Buddy, and Ryan over at Graphic Mafia for any of your needs.
For now on, to me, look, you may not like this, Mike, and I got, you can run it through John if you want. That's fine. But it's EBGB. Okay. It's EBGB to me.
EBGB. All right. We can do that. You know
what I'm saying? Because, like, everything, like Negative Cambers, NC, Severed Ties is ST, No Regrets is NR, Relaxed Atmosphere is RA. Everything in 2022 is kind of whittled down, right? It's concise, it's clear. So, like, dude, you expect me to do, like, a hashtag Eastbound. That's already 2 words, right? And then Get Down,
Eastbound,
4 words.
Get Down.
I'm at EBGB. You know what I'm saying? Hashtag EBGB.
I just don't know how you get EBGB out of it, though.
Wait.
That's all.
Eastbound, EB.
Yeah.
GB.
G. Get Down.
Right. EBGD. EBGD. see, now I get it.
All right, and now you get it? That's why I was trying to correct you earlier, but you still keep going on with this EBGB.
Right, but I was saying EBGD, but you probably weren't hearing me right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. No, my hearing is bad, so you're right.
I mean, you know what D stands for, right?
Well, I mean, are we going to go down with OPP,
No. D's
nuts. That's not so simple.
Right, exactly. Just like this song. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And, of course, that's a little nod to my favorite all-time album, The Chronic, when, Warren G's on the phone and he's like, hey, did so-and-so get at you? And she said, who? And he said, D's nuts. Dude, I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
So anyways, but listen, Mike, the last episode recap, I alluded a moment ago. Dude, tip of the cap to Mike Collins, dude, straight OG from the 80s, talking about buying a brand new 86 and a half-ish Nissan hardbody in 86, going into 87, Skybody, so many different things happened to that truck in a 5-year span. We got to just say thanks, dude, to the OG, and he also gave a nod, which we'll talk about Alex Anderson, a.k.a. Alex Who, a little bit later, but, he gave a tip of a cap. How ironic was it that he mentioned Alex, and, Alex just 1 year ago had mentioned Mike. A lot of these guys, West Coast, they got a lot of lineage, they got a lot of connections, and they've been doing this thing, dude, for 30 plus. Let's be honest, you know what I'm saying? So, to Mike, thank you so much. You provided so many great photos and videos and things like that. We still have a lot to share on Skybody. Mike, all I got for you here is I'm thinking if you want to really flip the script with Project Banana Hammock, you do not debut this truck anytime soon. You get with, I'll look at my list later, 4x4 frame it, but airbag it. Do like a Craig Elder, get Craig Elder on board, get like a Foose rendering, Lambo door it. And I can tell you this, I talked to Eddie Gordy, okay? He said, maybe not mention this on, so I might have to edit this out, but Eddie goes, dude, if Mike Lambo doors it and chromes his hinges for the doors, he's getting a little worried. You know what I'm saying? He's got a Mazda. You got a Mazda. If you 4x4 frame it, dude, with the airbags, I think you possibly have got it, dude.
Well, I tell you what, you bring up Eddie Gordy, and hats off to Eddie and, of course, his awesome daughter going and representing all us mini truckers over there in, I believe it was Houston, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Was it Houston?
This one was Tennessee, you know what I mean, where they do
Tennessee,
Tennessee, you know what I mean?
Okay, well, dude, hats off, fucking congratulations, and what a better dude to go and represent the mini truckers, and he's killing it, man, absolutely killing it, and congratulations to him and his daughter for going over there and once again cleaning house.
Yeah, real deal, and I would never condone serial killing, but I'm just gonna say he's Dexter in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave it at that.
Oh, there you go.
I don't want to give any spoilers away. You know what I mean? For Dexter, New Blood. So.
Well, I've never watched the Old Blood, the Young Blood, the Red Blood, Blue Blood. I never watched any of the Dexters, so I have no clue what you're talking about.
Red Blood, Bloods, Crips. You've never. But I heard you were a part of a gang in Ruskin, and I want to get into that the next episode because I want to know. I really want to understand like what gang you were running with back in the 90s. So, but we could talk about that in the next episode because we got to leave a couple cliffhangers, dude.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But the last episode recap brought to you by our family, our kinfolk. I talked to Radar the other day at Lone Star Throwdown. Just know that LoneStarThrowdown.com has got all the details for the upcoming show. And contrary to what you may believe, there are still rooms available in the greater Conroe area. It's the last weekend in February. And, Mike, I think one of the most underrated things about these guys is you can go to LoneStarThrowdown.com. On the left side, under registration, you've got transfer. And believe it or not, you've got the wait list, dude. So we're not talking about Southwest Airlines. If you go to transfer, it has all of the details there. If you would like to submit a request to transfer the registration, please send an email between 1/2/22 and I think it's 2/1/22. So they'll only take the request between 1/2/22 and 1/22/22. Okay, so that's the 2nd of this month through the 22nd. So, Mike, they're on top of things.
Dude, and one of the baddest and best shows in this country. Make sure you guys don't miss out on LST. If you don't get a registration, you can't get your vehicle in, do not miss that show. $20 armbands. I believe it's 12 and under is free, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going off of memory here. But, guys, you don't want to miss LST. It is one of the biggest, baddest truck shows, car shows, you name it. It's there at LST, Conroe, Texas. Don't miss it. Last weekend in February. And, while you're there, get them early because the show shirts go really fast. Jay knows all about that, too.
Yeah, they do. And look, this is the last thing I'll say about it. I could be wrong. When I talked to Radar the other day on the phone, Mike, I could have heard this wrong. Okay, so can I preface that? Is that just a good disclaimer?
Absolutely.
I thought he said if you've got an LST or Lone Star Throwdown face tattoo, that you get in the gate for free. I could have heard that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I got to double check. I'll bring an update next week. But like, if you really did go the extra effort, I'm sure we could, convince them at the gate. But again, if we've got 100 or 200 people coming in with those, we got to double check. You know what I mean? Yeah,
definitely double check that. But I'm going to almost say that if it doesn't fly, then Jason Ballard, ODB, will pay for your registration, will pay for your entrance if you actually go through with a face tattoo.
Or the laser removal. Let's just throw it out there. So.
Well, I think I'd rather pay for the tattoo than the laser removal, though.
True.
Just saying. Just saying.
Way more better. All right, so next we got the general updates. And, dude, I want to get an update from you. So, listen, man, we got Sideways, right? I heard that I heard from Dustin that you got Sideways in the 2022, leaving his New Year's Eve party, literally burning tread out the, homeowners association yelling, all kinds of profanities out the window. But, dude, now that we're in 2022, I kind of just want to know, like, what have been going on, Mike? I mean, I know you're focused on the show EBGD, right? But what else is going down?
Bro, just trying to get caught back up because, dude, what a night that was. I mean, I actually got a face tattoo that night, and I didn't remember it. I mean, I pulled out a tooth. I got a stripper pregnant. I mean, for some reason, I don't know how it happened, but I had a tiger in my fucking swimming pool when I got home. And I woke up. I woke up the next day and it was there, and I was like, bro, what did we do last night? And obviously everybody knows that, what movie was that from, Jay? What movie was that from?
Okay, players, now it's time to get serious.
The Hangover?
Hey! Ding, 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 ding.
You know what I'm saying? Don't try to flip the script.
Bro, no, just basically trying to catch up, get caught back up on life. And then, yeah, we're trying to throw a show coming up next weekend. So definitely getting ready for that, and just can't wait, bro. The response has been tremendous. We got people coming from all over the place, and a lot of these guys, which we kind of thought might happen. A lot of these guys are trying to get the hell out of up north, wherever they're at, and get down here to this beautiful weather down here in Florida that we're experiencing.
I love it. Well, I'm happy to hear all that. What I will tell you is this: I'm glad Jamie and team are back over at Mini Trucker Cold. Okay. Happy about that, right? That's a general update for me, but I'm also happy. I talked to LCD from
my favorite hillbillies,
dude. From LSD. Let's be honest. I mean, we got LST, we got LSD, we got LMC, dude. We might as well start a rap here. But here's what I'm excited about. I think that he secretly wants to sponsor Smutfest, and I'm thinking we might do it maybe mid-October in Tampa. That's where I'm trying to kind of figure out all the details. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just working through everything.
Okay. All right. No. I'm definitely interested. I think I might know a mascot that would work out for you, for Smutfest.
Good. Now, is EBGD, do you think that maybe John and Mike, my buddies, like maybe they could come on and kind of maybe help, like just, kind of sanction, get everything like squared away. You know what I'm saying?
Make it all legal.
Yeah, legal.
I think we can handle that. You know what? This is funny. You talk about Eastbound Get Down, and EBGB. Friday night, your buddies Mike and John. We got a dunk tank for our pre-party, and me, talls and smalls are going to be in the dunk tank, and of course, all the money is going for charity, dude. All the money we got Sophie's Circle charity. It's for the animals, and all the money that we raise from this dunk tank is going to go towards the animals. So make sure you guys are out there, 6 to 10, Destination Daytona, Friday night pre-party, and we're going to have a cornhole tournament going on. Of course, that's all sponsored by Best Clothing. So we thank Best Clothing for that, and of course DJ Mays is going to be out there, playing all the hot hits that night as well.
Well, here's one thing I want you to know. When you go to a good carnival and you've got the guy in the dunk tank kind of working the crowd, right, as like a wrestler would do. He's throwing out maybe a profanity. You can't hit this, you can't hit that. I really do hope that you guys kind of take it to that level, because if you really do a deep dive into like the carnies, like, the guy that's working the parking lot, the guy that's the dunk tank guy, there's a lot of effort that goes into, that cash cow. You know what I'm saying? So, Mike, on behalf of the charity and things like that, please, you and John, work the crowd well. Get some kids, Arnie, going. I'll be, I could be over there. Like, you could do some code word, like, hey, in Carney. It'd have to be in Carney for me to understand it. And then I can relay that out, to all the foot soldiers out there. But, work the crowd, dude. Do a good job, get some good, one-liners in there. That way you can increase the, the amount of money.
Well, that's what it's all about. It's all about raising money for these animals and for this charity. So definitely, not only are we going to raise money there, but also we have a club challenge going on. First place club challenge is going to get a $200 gift card to use over at Hooligans restaurant for Saturday night. Club, group, person, whoever, somebody's getting a 200. Then we got a second place where it's going to be a $100 bar tab over there for Saturday night at Saints and Sinners, which both of these places are right on property.
Excellent, dude. I love it. So, again, do it for the animals like the Hanks in the world, right?
Exactly. Our boy Hank. Too bad our boy Hank ain't going to be there, though.
Dude, he'll top notch you, bro. Top rope.
Well, I think him and Georgia got a date that night, actually. Yeah. So I don't think he can make it.
Real deal. The general updates brought to you by our family at Southeast Mini Truck and Nats. If you're curious about what's going down in the month of April, just know we're going to be at Southeast Mini Truck and Nats up in Maggie Valley. Mini Truck and Nats on Instagram, Southeast Mini Nats on Facebook. Even if you don't have a golden ticket, gallivant on into town. We're going to have a fantastic time, whether you're dragging or cruising or hanging out just with a cold beverage and a chair in tow. Come on out to Maggie Valley. Mike, Jason Bell, and team, they do it up. And number one, when you get to town, make sure you look for their booth. Buy the gear because that stuff sells out quick. Real deal Holyfield, Southeast Mini Truck and Nats for 2022. They might just come off the top ropes on you.
Dude, Jason Bell and his team are always coming off the top rope, and they always do a killer job. And by far, hands down, the best mini trucking show in the nation. Mini Nats, you don't want to miss out. Don't. The best cruising. I mean, it's just hands down one of the best shows of the year every year.
Yeah, and I'm going to raise you one there and say it's the best mini trucking show in the galaxy. You know, that's a big area. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, the galaxy. Yeah, you ain't lying there.
So, I mean, if Jason Bell and team decides to use that next year, you know, of course, like, and quote me, like, you know, we'll work out the details of, you know, the licensing. You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, we're just lucky that they have us there at Mini Nats. So let's not stretch it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Like, I'll, you know, take all that off the table. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Perfect.
So, Mike, next we got the trivia with Biggity Mike.
Okay, players, now it's time to get serious. And
I don't know. Okay, this is a cult classic, okay? And if Mike gets this one.
Here we go again with the cult classic. It's going to be something that not only have I not seen, but I'm sure nobody has seen. So, here we go. Let's hear it.
I'll raise you one because Tim Davis has seen it. You know what I'm saying? I was texting TD, shout out, tip of the cap, TD, living life topless, of course, in the Nissan, right, keeping it legal. But, dude, trivia.
Always keeping it legal.
Trivia with Mike, dude. Now, listen, I tried to buy this on Blu-ray, okay, because I think the Blu-ray is 4K, maybe not, but I had to settle for iTunes. It's not available on streaming, so you're not going to be able to Google this one and find it easily. But, dude, I just got a couple clues. I'm tired of throwing you softballs, dude. Okay.
All right.
Number one, you know, we talk about all the time. Rad was the BMX movie. You've got a couple skateboardings. You know, Gleaming the Cube, the one that comes to mind. But for surfing, this movie came out around 1987. Okay, let's just call it 1987. Ooh. And a guy that was in this movie was Matt Adler. Okay, I'm sure one of your idols as a teenager. It did feature a surfing pro. So this guy was literally professional. He's been in an American Express commercial. I can't give you too many more details there. It also featured a guy that was in another movie that tied in the surfing, which we just had a question about recently. That was John Philbin, okay? And in this movie, they talk about, you know, John Philbin says, you know, no one listens to Turtle, okay? So here's what I got. 1987, you know, not a crazy box office. We're talking $3.8 million, okay? By today's standards, that's a bomb. The producer, believe it or not, was Bill Finnegan. I wonder if there's a tie to Mike. And Tim McCanley's or something like that, right? But Mike, I know you're probably going to get pissed because this one's like really, maybe you think it's a hardball. I think it's another softball because I love it. It's got Nia Peoples in it too. She's hot. You know what I'm saying? Just throwing it out there, bro. Do you remember a 1987 cult classic that came out on August 14th, 87?
Bro, this is 2 movies in a row where you've asked about surfing.
Fucking with me, bro.
Okay, 2 movies in a row. You know, I loved the first one, and this movie just happens to be one of my favorite. Okay,
No way.
bro, it has to be one of my favorite. But unfortunately, it's still not a cult classic like you think it is. And anytime you tell me, hey, it's a cult classic, I know right away. Throw that out the window because it's definitely not a cult classic. So if anybody else that thinks this is a cult classic, sorry, you're wrong. But with that being said, it's definitely not South Shore because I think that's like where my mom lives in Ruskin. Back where I grew up. Yes, South Shore and Ruskin. You know where I'm talking about. You work down there.
South
Yeah, how
side,
about that?
South side.
How about that? And it's definitely not North Pole. So I'm going to have to say, now, was this the same movie where the girl surfer, she got bit by the shark and was missing her arm?
Is
this the same?
That's
is
a
this
little
the same
newer.
movie?
That was Jaws.
Oh, that's a newer. That's a newer. Okay. Well, you got to remember, I was only 10 when this movie came out. Okay, but I do remember going to Blockbuster, and I know a lot of you kids don't know what the hell Blockbuster is, and I'll never forget where it says "Be kind, rewind." The stickers on there. I'll never forget that. And do you remember the joy of going there on a Friday night and getting the popcorn when you're coming through line, when you're getting the Skittles, the candy?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to get candy. We got to get popcorn. So my guess, well, it's not even a guess because I know exactly what it is. Jay, this is North Shore.
No way. Dude, Mike, you bodied
Did I get it?
Bro.
Did I get it?
Dude, you bodied it.
Bro.
Dude, if I don't fucking ratchet these up next week, dude, the Airhead Nation's going to start getting ticked, dude. I don't know. I know Tim Davis knows North Shore.
Bro, I'm going to tell you that I think the Airhead Nation gets pretty excited when I get it right.
Dude.
I think they're excited for me. I think they're excited. That's my guess anyway. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to say that they're excited when I do get it right.
Dude, I rewatched it the other day, and it brought me back memory lane. I was more entranced, not on Nia Peoples, but I was like looking at like all the shirts, the TNC Surf Design shirt that's in it, all the old stickers. I was like, dude, I want all those not skateboards, but surfboards. Dude, it was awesome, bro. So, dude, congratulations. We got another tick mark. I think you're up to 11 now, so we're going to keep the Airhead Nation, at bay for now, and we got to update the binder. The database keeps going down on the binder, so I gotta figure that out.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I definitely appreciate that. But yeah, bro. I mean, like I said earlier, definitely not a cult classic, but another good surfing movie for sure.
Real deal, Holyfield. And the trivia with Mike this week, Mike, is brought to you by our good friends over at Get Decked. Joey and team can take care of you. Go to Get Decked on Facebook or Instagram. The cool thing is, whether you got a photo, some old artwork, maybe you're a show promoter and you want to do it like a best top 10 awards, Joey can get you taken care of. He goes to a lot of shows, and Mike, he has been known to even hand deliver those. There could be an extra fee for that, but I tell you what, it's a lot cheaper than shipping all those 20, 30 skate decks, doggy.
Bro, you aren't lying. And hey, if anybody is thinking about it, get with Joey at Get Decked. Get with him soon because he will be at EBGB.
Yeah.
Eastbound Get Down. He will be there.
Yeah, and I was, EBGD, like, gosh darn, you know what I mean?
Well, gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it. So, next we got the scene updates brought to you by our friends that we'll talk about in a minute. But, Mike, listen, dude. What I'm hoping to do a little bit later is re-air some of the audio from Alex's interview. And I tell you what, news broke. I had gotten a phone call last week, and a lot of people on social media shared this. Dude, Alex Anderson, also known as Alex Who, many of you guys knew him. Many of you know of him. Many of you have watched TV shows. I guarantee at least one that he was a part of. It goes all the way back to the old, Pimp My Ride on MTV. But, dude, Mike, Alex Anderson, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just such a tragedy. We've lost another homie. He was just on OLP a year ago, and he was I'm telling you right now, one of our most downloaded / streamed episodes of all time, man.
Well, it was definitely one of the best ones. Some of the stories that this cat came up with or had or did, just the things that this guy accomplished was absolutely amazing. And he was definitely loved by many and hated by few. You know what I'm saying? And but that episode, if I'm not mistaken, was it 219, Jay? I believe is the number.
Yes, 219. You got it.
So definitely go back, check it out, relive it. Listen to the stories because, dude, there's some good ones, there's some funny ones, and I think he tells on some of these guys too. And a lot of these guys you'll know, big names in the scene. But definitely check it out and listen to it because it is definitely, like you said, one of the best ones. One of the really good interviews we've had.
A lot of people commented about this and posted, and anytime we lose someone in our scene, I love seeing the scene come together and post. We saw it with Greg, we saw it with Ernie, with so many others. But Chris Schmidt, who was on OLP last year, not a call I was expecting yesterday. He says, "Alex, you will truly be missed, my friend. We always had a great time together. Going to miss our talks and calling you with questions. You always had the answer I needed, or you would put me or point me in the right direction on who to talk to. Godspeed, AA." So many people, again, had comments like that. Mike, I don't know if you happen to see this, but our family, Missy, and even Bob Grant, they went and got tattoos behind their ear of the world-famous A.A. Alex Anderson, Alex Who logo.
Yes, no. I did see that, and props to those guys for going out and making a memory. And something they'll never forget with one of our true pioneers in the scene.
Now, Ryan from West Coast Customs, if you go out, it's just at Ryan on Instagram. We're hoping we're going to have Ryan on this year, but he had posted, words can't express my inner feelings right now. Very few people walk this earth that I truly care about, and today I have lost my best friend, my brother, and the only one that could pick me up when I'm down with words of encouragement to fight another day. We started this journey together, and we're supposed to finish it together, ... You truly will be missed by me and the entire West Coast Customs family. We will be together again and hopefully build some badass mini trucks up there. Until then, I will keep your dream alive. # mini truckers never die. And Ryan, that's his only post right now, right? So he's got 481,000 followers. He tagged Alex Who on Instagram. But I want to give a huge shout out to Pin. So Pin is Revelations Inc. on Instagram. He had posted and said the date is set. Mark your calendars for Saturday, March 19th, 2022. We're throwing the Alex Who, a proper event. I'll be posting more details as we get things set. Pin is a friend of ours. I got a chance to link up with him last year in Woodland, California. And he's OG. He's a great dude. Him and Mike Peters. I'm anxious to see what's going to come about with that. But Mike, dude, there's no denying that when you look at the facts of it, Alex is much like some of the other folks that we've lost in the scene that have touched so many people from a personal standpoint, right? When Alex was on last year, he talked about how Santini changed his life. And that really resonates with me because you think about your legacy as an individual, right? You want to go down as someone, in my opinion, that changed someone's life for the better, or they gave them gave someone a positive outlook, or maybe helped someone, right? And we see a lot of negativity in social media, but I tell you what, Alex, I never saw him say a bad thing about someone. And when I look at his legacy, he's going to go down as one of the all-time greats, man.
Oh, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And like I said, after you listen to that podcast, if you don't know him and you have no idea who we're talking about, definitely need to go back and listen to that podcast. Check it out because what a great dude. What a great dude. And definitely is going down. And it's just it's amazing, his life, and it's definitely gone way too soon. That's for sure.
Brian Gendro says on Facebook, R.I.P. Alex Anderson. When I got the call yesterday from Sal and he was crying, I knew it was bad. Sal doesn't cry ever. He said Alex passed away. I don't think I ever heard right what I was thinking. What Alex? Because I never thought it would be our Alex. I couldn't fathom that possibility. And he kind of goes on further. He shares some cool photos. I tell you, Alex was the life of the party. What I gather, although I was only around Alex a few times, is when Alex would walk into a party, all of the attention and focus would shift to the big homie, and everybody was smiling because Alex did it up, dude. He truly lived like it was his last day, right? And he enjoyed every aspect of it. I am going to, as Mike mentioned, we're going to go ahead and reshare the audio later this episode when we had him on. What happened is Ed Eister and others were messaging me, Mike, and they were saying, hey, here's a good mark. You could play this clip, or you could play this soundbite. The thing was, I started going through it, and I was like, there's so much gold in it. He made me laugh so much when I was at Seaman that year, and I think I was staying with Nate and Jessica from Acrophobia, and we were in the room next door to them. Okay? You got to listen to the audio. I said, look, no offense, man. I thought that, Mike, have you ever been in a hotel room and you thought the wall was going to cave in, dude, right? And you're hearing screaming and moaning. Dude, I thought literally the wall was going to cave in, right? Something good was going on over there. I don't know what it was. But I brought that story up to him, and he was like, yo, man, I'm sorry. I was like, dude, no, it was funny, dude. Like, it was awesome. Alex, those are some of the lasting impressions. And when we were in Greenville that year, we had some of the guys running in the nasty moat races, we called it. And I said, Alex is here from West Coast Customs, and he might even give you guys a Jesse James motorcycle. We don't know. We had to work the crowd, Mike. We had people doing flips into the moat. And, dude, it was gold. And I tell you what, Alex, everything he did from TV shows to homies in the scene, he laid it down, and rest in peace to the true OG Alex Anderson.
Oh, bro, absolutely. And, I mean, was that almost like that commercial for that shampoo, like when she's in the shower and she's washing her hair? Is that kind of like that where you think maybe they were redoing that commercial?
I could have swore they had TV crew in there filming something. It could have been audio. It could have been video. But I tell you what, whatever Alex was doing, let's just say he was making someone happy.
Oh, okay. No, I gotcha. I'm thinking maybe it was like popcorn. They had popcorn in the microwave, and they were excited. That's they were excited about that or something. I don't know. But you said, hey, as long as they were having a good time, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and please go back again, listen to it. We're going to go ahead and put it on this episode because it's the right thing to do. It's really a funny moment because, Alex, again, I won't rehash it all, but he just lived life like it was like many of us want to. Many of us want to live life like there's no tomorrow. Like, hey, man, 0 Fs. We wear these shirts and, we go out to shows and whatever. But then we reset and we go back to reality on Monday and we're like, well, this past weekend I gave 0 Fs, Mike, but now I give like 99 Fs. Like, Alex was like 0 Fs on the weekend. Monday came. How many Fs do you give, Alex? Dude, he was like -10, bro. He goes, dude, let's just keep rocking. And that's the cool thing. He's a world traveler. He was tied into Ryan Fringlinghouse. He went to the West Coast, but he also went to Germany, and he talks a lot about that. So all I can say, straight up and down, R.I.P. to the OG, Alex Who. So, Mike, not easy to kind of transition from there. I just want to give a tip of the cap to Jasmine Green. We've had her on before from Australia. She got a sweet number plate, and I tell you what, her truck, the green truck from down under, all the work that she did, the only interview that I ever did overnight or super early in the morning because of the time difference. Love what she's doing. She's truly, truly, truly keeping mini trucking. She's doing her best to keep it alive down there, like many dudes and chicas down there. And I want to give you a huge tip of the cap to one of the most awesome female mini truckers in the universe. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
Just the fact that when we met her at Scraping the Coast, and she came to Scraping the Coast, with her boyfriend, I believe his name was Michael, if I'm not mistaken. And they were taking parts back in luggage bags to take them back to be able to finish building her truck. I mean, that was just cool.
True fiends, dude. Mini truck fiends. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
The scene updates brought to you by our family at Garage Gear Clothing. Mike, GarageGearClothing.com. You know how much the shipping is, dude, and it's mind-blowing emoji.
Bro, let's just skip to it right to it. Get right to it, brother, dude, because it is absolutely free. FREE free. Yes, sir.
GarageGearClothing.com. Look them up or hit them up. We'll be there in about a month and a half or so. LST, get sideways in the Conroe, but keep it legal. Go by their booth. They'll be under, of course, one of the big overhang deals. They'll take care of you. Mike, the cool thing is, we mentioned earlier when we talk about the key show updates, Dragon Alley this weekend, Frank's Deals down south. I talked about that recently. Kern County Showdown. A couple weeks away, the 4th through the 6th in Bakersfield, California. You heard us talk about it at the top. You heard Corey last episode. It's going down, and Corey said tip of the cap to everyone that has pre-registered since he came on. A lot of kinfolk, including RA, so shout out to everyone there. Mike, after LST, we're going to be at Relaxin' on the Ranch 3-5. I passed there today. I had to actually go down to Port St. Lucie for work, and when we passed there, it made me think Relaxin' on the Ranch.com is where people need to go to pre-register. If you've got a tent, if you've got a camper, if you've got a tailgate, you can sleep in it. You just need to register. But, Mike, if you see a camper hitting three-wheel, should you run or no?
Hell no. Go cheer his ass on because we know that's our boy Tickmark, baby.
Daisy, Kizzy, Vizor, Ezor. How do you say DeCorver and Carney, dude? Dizor, Kizor, Vizor, Ezor. If you do every syllable.
I think you nailed it there, homie. I think you did all right.
If Paul's listening, Paul Lane, one of my best friends from middle school, Paul, we need to get Paul on to do a Carney episode, okay? If we can get him on to, teach people the Carney, I'm not as good when you do every syllable. I could do Kizar, right, or Kizar. He can do, 6, 7 syllable words, and, I mean, dude, he gets going so quick. I'm like, dude, what planet am I on, right? I think I'm talking to Klingons, dude, from Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying? So, all you want to know is relaxingontheranch.com. They hit me up the other day. They go, yo, are you locked into DJ? I said, as long as DJ Mays can give me some more tips, all I know how to do is hit play and pause with the tape cassette. I've got a bunch of tapes I'm bringing, Mike. I hope they got a tape player.
Bro, actually, I had talked to Scott, and Scott said that they actually have an 8-track for you this year because they heard that you have a whole bunch of 8-tracks that you'd like to play out there. So, bro, I think they're going to be set for you, man. They're going to be ready.
Remember when you'd go in the stereo shops back in the day and you'd see all the stereos that just were right in front of you and you could go up and move the knobs. They were all on. But, behind it was probably a wiring madness. Scott was saying that he was going to take one of my old Alpine decks and mount it in a box and have it where we can just, put the tapes in. But I'm going to need an assistant to fast forward, replay, pause, do all that stuff. Because, that's all I got is tapes still. So, a couple 8 tracks.
I think I can help you with that, Bubba. I think I can help you with that for sure.
Good deal. The Key Show updates brought to you by our family at the West Coast Influence. Visit minitruckfilm.com. Again, I talked to Radar the other day. He said, thanks for all the love. If you're curious about the West Coast Influence and you buy the DVD/Blu-ray, you'll get a chance to learn a little bit more about our past history in this scene of ours, minitruckfilm.com. Mike, not a lot of podcast updates. I would just reinforce to everyone, ourlifestylepodcast.com. If you want to buy merch, please go out there and do that. We appreciate it. And, Mike, I just want to close with the Airhead Nation updates. One thing that I saw that was out there other than the passing of Alex was 2 things, right? So the first one I want to start with, and then we'll end with the most positive one that we can. We often get a chance to talk about, people that we've lost in the scene, and, there's some names that there's some that you don't. There's also times that, as I mentioned, you're going to hear some names and you're like, I may not know these folks. They weren't part of my circle. But, Mike, I did see that Forbidden Fantasy, one of the biggest, baddest clubs around, some great folks, they had someone pass away in their club, and their post on Forbidden_FFF_fantasy on Instagram says, "Losing friends and family is never easy. Thank you for all the great memories, Louie. Rest easy." They tagged the big homie with the Yoda. And I tell you, Mike, from east to west, don't matter what country or continent you're in, you're a part of the scene. And we ask that you just send some prayers out to Forbidden Fantasy family. Louie Guerrero, Real Deal Holyfield, member of FFF.
Hey, once again, it's always tough. It's always hard. And, seeing it, especially when they go way too early, way too soon. And, but hey, hats off to him for doing what he was able to accomplish while he was here. And, and just sad to see at such a young age to not be here with us anymore. And, condolences to all his friends and family that he's left behind.
Real Deal Holyfield. And the last thing that we have to cover is Jesse Chomick, I believe is how you say it, my homie, my brother from Canada, my up north homie and brother. He mentioned on January 7th, Happy Born Day to his amazing lady. He says, "I love you so much and thank you for being an amazing wife, mother, and best friend. I love our adventures together. Hope you have a great day." And he's talking about Jen Black, dude. And Jen was on the podcast, Realer Than Real Deal, mini trucker, severed petitioner, severed ties, family, real deal. And, dude, word is, Mike, we might have another Canadian on very soon, hopefully in the month of January, because it's cold up there. They ain't got nothing else going on.
Exactly. Unless they're doing, making videos and like Alex who was in that hotel room.
Right, like painting videos and stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, listen, Mike, it's always Real Deal. I know this episode, I know some were maybe thinking something different was going to happen, but I can tell you this. Alex passed away. We wanted to pay homage to him. We wanted to talk a little bit about 2022. And, Mike, the only thing I can tell you for 2022 is this. I mentioned recently we are going to ratchet it down a little bit on the amount of shows we go to, just because we're kind of doing the family stuff. But I'm telling you, Mike, if we ratchet it down there, then we ratchet it up here, right? And that's important because the content that we provide here is to us the utmost importance. And Mike, I want you this is the last thing, okay? When you got a ratchet strap on your truck and you've got it clicked down to like 50 and you're like, there's no more clicks, right? And me or Vic or one of the homies gets up there and we can get one more click out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's the next level we're going for. Like you say, hey, I'm out. There's no more clicks on this ratchet strap. And we go, yo, we got 2 more clicks in. You know what I'm saying? We're going to bust the fucking bolt if we have to. That's what we're doing in 2022.
Sounds like a plan, brother. I look forward to it. And thank you guys. Thanks to the Airhead Nation. And with that being said, Jay.
We got you. Stay on the rise. Here's to Alex Who. Enjoy the audio. Peace. Yo, and as I mentioned, we got Alex Who. He's been on the list a minute. So freaking excited. I remember being at Showfest back in the day with this crazy homie running around. We had a damn good time. But Alex, I want to just say welcome to the podcast. Thanks for your time.
Hey, Jason, thanks, man. Sorry it took so long.
Oh, it's all good.
Life gets in the way, right? It just gets crazy.
It does, man.
How you doing, man?
Dude, everything is good. I think most of us were just like excited to be past 2020, but you think 2021 is going to be better?
No, I think 2021 is like they said, just wait till he turns 21, starts drinking.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. Dude, I felt really old the other day. It was right before the new year, and I was pretty sure we were at a place buying lotto tickets or something, and there was a sign that said, you can't buy beer unless you were born. It was like December 30th of 99 or some shit. And I was like, dude, really? I'm like, that's not cool.
Yeah, well, my oldest daughter is going to be 25 in August. Yeah, so Yeah.
Congrats, dude. That's awesome, man.
I'm gonna be 58 this summer.
Okay, dude. I was gonna say, man, I thought you were like 38, man.
Oh well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm a wee bit older than that.
38 in mini truck years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. When I first started driving, you could still buy a brand new 620.
Yes. Back when trucks were like, weren't they? They were like $6,000, dude. I swear they were, man. If you look at the old ads, like if they were totally watered down, no carpet. I swear the number on it was like 59 or 6, maybe 6,500.
I don't even think. I think in the late 70s, you could get one for about $4,500 if I remember right.
Yeah, coming out of the high gas prices and all that, everyone dumping the guzzlers as they call them for the minis, dude. That's how they got started. I swear, man. It's like it's crazy to see.
I went to my first show in a brand new 620.
Dude,
with fender flares and Kragers on it, and a camper shell, the stepped wing on the back.
Dude, there's no way you could say, Alex Who without saying quadruple OG, man. I mean, if you've been to that, man, going back to that era. It's funny now, though, too, man. We'll talk more about this, but when people say, oh, that's old school mini trucking, and they're talking like 90s, I'm like, dude, we got the forefathers that came way before this.
So when I got my first 620, I was working for Pete Santini, and Jerry Johns was from Sir Michael's was over there, and he helped me do my tailgate. He heat shrunk the letters down in it. Took a torch, heated them up. Yeah, made me a roll pan, shaved my handles, just left them lock in the driver's door. OG, man, that's OG right there.
Hell yeah, it is. And I was just looking through my truckins the other day. Pete's truck was on there, man, way back in that little blue one he had. And it brings
that was
back
his daughter's truck. Yeah, I used to drive that truck around. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's like to me, that was like the heyday before the golden era, like in the mid '90s, man.
Yeah. That was that would have been the early '80s, and then we did that. Randy's truck, who worked at Johnny Speed and Chrome mini truck store. He had that pink 720 with a newer bed on it, and then it had pink graphics on it, and it was a convertible. It had a removable hardtop, and then it got a convertible top, a real convertible top, a canvas one, a blue canvas one.
Really?
Lifespan was pink. It was on the cover of on Truckin'. So Lifespan was on his pink Vert. Bob Grant is actually doing like a tribute truck to it right now.
Yeah, I heard something about that, and here it is. I got it. It's April 1990. It was when the real hot chick in the bikini, and then you got the Nissan with it says Santini's graphics, dude. I mean, how epic was that blue truck, man?
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. I know we got off to a crazy start. Like, man, how you been doing? Everything going good for you?
Yeah. Everything's going good. I was in Texas for a while. I working with Bill over at Extensive doing Texas Metal, and then we started filming Monster Garage in Austin. So I shot over there, and we did 8 episodes of that, which are just starting to air now.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about, man. You got a lot of stuff we can hit on, and I wanted to kind of start and just maybe give a little bit of background about yourself for the listeners, maybe where you grew up and everything, Alex.
Okay, well, I grew up in West Garden Grove, just right on the edge of Long Beach.
LBC.
Went to Pacifica High School. Yeah, went to Pacifica High School. A lot of mini truckers will know from Pacifica. People that came out of Wes Allison, the photographer, came out of there. Jeremy Cook, editor of Trucking Magazine, came out of there. Lance Laverty, Johnny Garrett. There's a bunch of people that were in the mini truck and Volkswagen community that would know those people.
What a fucking era, dude. I mean, so many greats, and we got to get Wes on. That's my goal this year. We've got some cool news to share with him. I mean, he was a huge contributor to mini trucking, and to your point, I mean, you think about just what an era it was, man. I mean, you grew up too in the heyday coming out of the 70s with skateboarding, BMX biking, all that greatness, dude.
Yeah, that was, and West Garden Grove was a big hotspot for all that stuff. We did have a pretty cool little community. Like I said, I grew up there, and I used to walk home past Pete Santini's house, and he was painting. It was actually his parents' house back then, and he's painting, dragsters or tea buckets in his mom and dad's driveway. And so I just stand there and stare.
Yeah, imagine if we had camera phones back then. You think about it, it's like,
oh yeah.
I mean, if you didn't have a Polaroid, for the most part, I mean, you weren't taking. I mean, dude, just epic times.
Yeah, then later on they came out those disposable cameras, but most of those pictures I got taken never even got developed. You know what I mean? So,
right. Yep. So, I mean, I was going to ask you how you got involved in the automotive scene, but you kind of answered it. I mean, you grew up among greatness, man.
Well, here's what happened. I was a little bit in trouble, getting a little bit of trouble in high school days. And, they wanted me to go do like a ROP program from school.
Uh-huh.
And I told them, you get me a job at Custom Paint by Santini, I'll go. If not, you guys can pound sand. And they called Pete and said, hey, you want a guy to come work for you for free for 3 months? For 4 hours a day? He's like, yeah, sure. So, I went down there, and I spent a year down there. And I was there at 8 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night. I lived there. I can remember the painter down there, like my first day, he's like, hey, grab that DA right there and sand this car right here. And I'm like, what? He goes, grab that DA right there, sand this car right here. I said, what? He goes, starts yelling, grab the DA, sand the car. I'm like, yeah, man, I heard you the first time. What the fuck is a DA? I was a kid. I was 15.
Yeah, you're like a DA. I'm like, I don't know. TNA?
DA? What's a DA? Yeah, what's a DA?
Oh, man, that's funny as hell. Now, when you think back to that era, like, what was, like, maybe your first vehicle or some of the vehicles you rolled in back in those days?
First vehicle I had was a 67 Bug that I bought for $1,000. Looked like it wouldn't move under its own power.
Really?
So I had that. I had a couple of Corollas lowered, and my first mini truck was a 74 620.
Damn.
That, like I said, that where I was working at Santini's, at Jerry John's. I wish I had pictures of all these cars. I don't even have pictures of most of them.
I know, because it just was in that era. I mean, even me going to high school in the 90s, it was like, I mean, I don't even have any photos then. I think the kids today, they don't realize, like, because they have iPhones and Androids and all this, you don't even think about the fact, that we didn't have film, you didn't have a photo.
Yeah, about 3 years ago, they had made an announcement. They said, as of today, more photos are taken every single day than were taken in the history of all man before that.
Wow.
So the day before that, they had taken, say 10 million pictures were taken, and now today we take 10,000,001 pictures a day. And by now, that was got to be 3 or 4 years ago. By now, it's got to be, we're taking 4 times the amount of pictures that were taken by you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So
now, speaking about the old school days, okay, what kind of talk to us about some of those early mini truck runs that you started going to? Like, circle what year are we talking, man?
Well, I used to hang out with some of my friends were in they were Night Moves mini trucks back then. This was all like 620s, back then. And we went to, you go to the stuff over at the park over there in Long Beach. I can't think of what it's called right now. The name of it, the big El Dorado Park. So there'd be like big shows over there. People go over there on Saturdays and just wash their trucks on the grass, which was I always thought that was kind of strange. But you go there, like, we go to, whatever we could, back then we didn't even have driver's licenses. So, wherever you could get to, your friends were going, you jumped in the back of the truck, they had shells, the camper with, carpet kits in the back, and,
Yeah. And one thing that I've always, a lot of us, I mean, you kind of lived it, but a lot of we all believe like the mini trucks really kind of came out of the high gas prices, the van guys and stuff. Do you remember, like, did you see like were the mini guys starting to roll, like the younger crowd coming up and the van guys were the older guys? Or did you happen to see any of that kind of migration of the two genres?
Well, so mini trucks evolved from vans, like basically the whole custom aspect of it. Vanners, in the 70s. And then, when you were a kid, so let's see, I got my driver's license in 1979. So in 1979, if you had a 65 Mustang or something, you could still buy a 65 Mustang back then for $3,500.
Mm-hmm.
68 Camaro, clean 68 Camaro, $3,000.
Crazy.
Yeah. But for custom stuff, there was nothing like mini trucks and Volkswagens, man. If you were into custom cars, most of the people that I knew, that's what they're building. They're building Volkswagen cow look bugs, or lowered mini trucks or lifted mini trucks. Santini had another one on the cover of truck, and it was a silver one with purple and blue graphics on it.
Yeah, because that era was defined, and people may not recall, but it wasn't just defined as like before the trucks were body dropped and airbagged. As they were skied. You had
it was
the
easier
Nissans
to,
and
easier to
everything.
lift them than it was.
Yeah,
before people started doing notches in the frame. You could get a truck low, but you're sitting on the frame rails. You sit on the frame rails, the bump stops in the front. You needed a kidney belt just to ride in the truck. And that we didn't get past that, for a while. That didn't happen till like the early 90s is when they got past that.
Yeah, and like even one of my favorite trucks, Alex, is like the Skybody one. I think Gendro even worked on it.
Yes, Gendro built most of it. That's Mike's truck, Mike Collins' truck.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that thing was crazy.
Yeah, and like the painted frames and all that stuff, and it kind of it's kind of cool when you look back to your point. If you look at the old trucking magazines, there were a lot of the lifted minis, and you had the cool, like everybody had the real nice shocks. You had the KC lights, but
they were all
you also,
chrome shocks with colored boots.
Yes, colored boots, man. There you go. Remember those nets they would put on? That was probably big in Cali. Remember the little nets that people put on into their tailgate?
Oh yeah.
That was like a big craze.
I wasn't, I got out on the scene for a little while. I had a little. Me and the government didn't agree on things for a couple years. So they sent me on a vacation for a couple years.
Yeah. Hawaii.
It was a state-sponsored vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you get free food, and it's a cool.
Yeah, exactly. Free rent, all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, if you think about like when you got started into it, and I know you're not a guy that boasts, but congrats again on the Mini Truck Hall of Fame, because you are a guy that was like at the infancy of this greatness, and then a couple years ago, I want to tip my cap to you for that, man.
Well, thank you, man. I am very proud of that. And I've been on the committee, and I help do that every year. And when they first, when I first got nominated, I'm like, I'm not going to vote on, I'm not going to vote for myself.
Right.
And then they go, and then somebody said, Alex, we need you to do a little bio on yourself for the Hall of Fame. And I said, isn't that kind of, if you don't know who I am, isn't that kind of silly for me to make a bio? It's the Hall of Fame, right?
Right.
When you talk about the Hall of Fame, you should know who. So I wrote some shit out real quick and sent it in. And a couple of the guys on the committee go, holy shit, I didn't know that you did all that. And they're like, okay, you got my vote.
Yeah, it's like boom.
So,
it's like boom. Now, talking about the truck shows and stuff, I know you were really close with Courtney Hollowell, rest in peace. What's maybe a fun story that you can think back? I mean, I know there's a million of them, but what's one thing that kind of brings a smile to your face?
Man, so many things. I can remember going over to his house. We had the white trash hoedown, and Courtney shaved my head into like where I had the cul-de-sac. Courtney, Courtney was one of those guys that you just couldn't put your finger on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could, he told me once, Alex, I'm worried about you, man. I'm worried about you. And I go, yeah? He goes, yeah, I think you need to see a doctor because you ain't right. Now, he meant it, and I did, most people say that to me, I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Courtney can say stuff to you like that, and you go like, you're probably right. Let me go see if I can find a doctor and we'll talk to you.
Yeah, he's one of those like good friends, like the lifelong friend that could give you advice, that he could say, hey, man, you're doing this too much or whatever, and you don't get pissed off.
I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't for Courtney Hollowell and Pete Santini, I'd be asking people, would you like fries with that? I guarantee it.
Wow.
Courtney could, when I got inducted to the Hall of Fame, Kevin Coons, the captain, he was the one that inducted me, and he said Courtney always sent the ladder back down and helped other people up. And, that's what I've always tried to do. I've always tried to, get people into, if I get, it starts working out for me, I'm like, hey, you know what? You need to get this person in here, so that's how, like, I've worked with, all the people I've worked with.
Amazing. Yeah. And you went to a lot of shows because you grew up in that era. There were so many river runs and all that. So like you had to have went to a lot of shows like side by side with Courtney.
Yeah. Well, me and him went to Show Fest back in 2003. That was we're just going to leave that as off the table for right now.
Well, I don't know if you remember this. Or the guys that were, some of the guys that were running down the moats, I was the one yelling, going, "Hey, this is Alex from Monster Garage. First winner gets a Jesse James motorcycle." You're going, "This guy's a lunatic."
That's right.
We had a good time.
We had the apparel department ship a whole bunch of hats and shirts and stuff, and my luggage got lost, and I didn't have no clothes except for whatever was in that apparel box.
That's funny. Yeah.
It arrived Saturday night at like 2 a.m. My luggage did. And Bill Carlton drove over in the H2 and picked it up. And then we went back to the hotel, and then we got up like 3 hours later and went to go drive home.
That's crazy, right? Yeah. When you think back, like, and I look at the old trucking magazines and mini trucking and stuff, like the 80s into the 90s, like Parker, Arizona, and all these river runs, you had the wave runners and jet skis and the boats cruising and stuff. Did you go to some of those shows and realize like the epicness that was going on?
96, 97, 98. That was the heyday for us. I mean, whenever I think about mini trucking, that's what I think about. I think about like 98 Show Fest. I mean, Spring Slash.
Yes.
Rezo. I don't know how many Rezos I went to, freezing your ass off.
And I went to so the only one I went to is when Severed, when we had our 10th. And I remember they call each chapter rep up to talk, and the guys at the time were like, "Oh, you go up there, Jay, you like to talk." And so we go up on the little makeshift stage, and we're looking out, and I remember looking out, and Courtney, was standing out there with all of his Severed brothers, as an NC brother.
Yeah.
And, just kind of was like,
there's a few
taking
of us
it all in.
Yeah.
Yep.
There are a few of us. There's about 10 of us that have both logos.
Yes. Yeah. Like the OGs, like kind of that. I think the Cali, Arizona guys kind of had that bond,
Yeah. So I have both logos. Brett has both logos. Courtney had both logos. Pincushion has both logos.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Derek Mallett has both logos. There's a few of us that actually have both logos. People will say, like, see me wearing a Severed shirt and go, "Hey, I thought you were an MC." I go, "I am."
Yeah. It was like the Lowest Brotherhood.
Too.
Yes. Yeah, man. It's classic. Now, I got to ask you this because everybody wants to know, like, how did the Alex Who moniker start? I mean, there's got to be a cool story behind it.
Well, there is. It originally started back in about 2003 at SEMA when I was working on Monster Garage, and me and Jesse were there, and a bunch of the Arizona guys were running around. And everywhere we went with Jesse, you could take 2 steps, and then it was pictures and autographs. Take 2 more steps, pictures and autographs. So a bunch of the AZ guys come running up. "Oh, there he is, man! There he is, right there. See if we can talk to him." And they run up and he just, "Oh, what's up, fellas?" And I'm like, "Hey, man, we need to talk to that guy right there." And they want to come talk to me. So, and that was where it started. So it was just kind of very like an inside story, an inside joke. And then in 2006, I believe, me and Bobby McCurdy, better known as Bobby James, because we told some girls at Vegas at a nightclub that was Jesse James's little brother, and to this day, Jesse still calls him Bobby James. So me and him had a shop in Arizona. I mean, in Vegas, and Adam Kroll from Big Time Threads made us a couple of shirts just kind of as a joke. They said Big Time Threads on the back and on the front. Bobby had "I Know Bobby James." Bobby had "I Know Bobby James," and mine said "Alex Who." So that was kind of the running joke. Alex who, Alex who. So whenever people would go, Alex who, and you'd go, exactly.
Yeah, and we had Bobby on, and what a great guy he is too.
Yeah, Bobby's one in a million for sure. So when I was in Berlin back in 2008 with West Coast Customs, in the West Coast Customs shop out there, I was with the Evil Jared from the Bloodhound Gang, and me and him, when you're around Jared, you tend to get drunk a lot. So we got really drunk at a nightclub that had a tattoo parlor. There's this club called White Trash Fast Food, and we were there, Wally's place, and went to the tattoo parlor down in the basement, and I got my knuckles tattooed with Alex Hill.
Yeah,
so
classic, man. And there was even a shirt, right? Was there a shirt that had that on it?
Well, now there's I've done like 4 different designs of shirts. There's one that says, Alex Who doing dipshit things with my dipshit mini trucker friends. There's hats that say dipshit under the brim. I've done skateboard decks, stickers, hats, shirts. I'm going to be doing some more shirts, so I'll make sure to send you one.
Yeah, I got a sticker. I forget where I was at, and somebody had a couple, and I was like, I need one of those. Like, yeah, no problem, man. And
there's 2 different stickers. There's the die cut one, and then there's the round one.
I think I've got the die cut one.
Yeah,
and I'm so OCD I don't unstick them because then if you stick them somewhere, then you can't stick it anywhere else.
I got a suitcase full of stickers, different stuff. I got some stuff, from Jesse. Makes the coolest stickers. Like you'd come there, the box would show up and it'd say, "I'm from Long Beach, motherfucker," and, pro, anti, just different shit.
Yeah, the pay up sucker one was the famous one.
Built with pure hate.
Yeah,
built with pure hate, So all these different stickers. So, I just got a collection of stickers.
Yeah, there's almost nothing better than stickers, man. It's pretty cool. But
it's almost a strange thing. Like I tried to explain it to my chick one time and she just didn't get it.
My wife doesn't get it either. I went to the skate shop the other day and I bought a couple old Santa Cruz. They're like pink ones. And I was like, man, these are fire, man. I got to get them. And they're like $2. I'm like, you can't go anywhere else and buy something for $2 to make you that happy.
Yeah. I was thinking the other day, I need to get an Alba skate sticker again,
Yeah.
And remember, I had the, my cousin was in a band with him back in the day. So,
really?
So we used to get the decks and stuff, and you get stickers, and then you did all the layers of stickers. Mm-hmm. So like the different colors, do like a shadow, drop shadow on it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So you hinted earlier, going back in my mind, I wanted to kind of ask, like, how did you get looped in with West Coast Customs? Because most people that are listening probably know, but you worked on shows going all the way back to the MTV days.
Okay, yeah. So I got hooked up with Ryan at West Coast in the 97. Mm-hmm. I had an 82 Toyota truck and I was looking for an intake manifold for side drafts for it. And I went down there and met and we became friends. And then my 97 truck is the body drop tech story called The Ultimate Low with the one with Adam's truck on the cover. Or no. Yeah, no, Adam. The one with the 4Runner back end on it? Yeah. So that's my truck. And me and Ryan just started talking. We hit it off. He goes, hey, man, can you build me a step notch? He showed me a picture of like a step notch. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I was working in a machine shop back then. And and then he wanted me to build him some license plate hangers for his 4Runner that were in the door jamb and came out through the door gap in the rear door. So I built those and just started building stuff for him. And, so at one point I was building all the airbag mounts and step notches and all that stuff that he was selling online.
Got it.
Like, go look at all the old Street Trucks magazines. The back cover was a West Coast Customs ad. I built most of that stuff in the ads.
Yeah, see, that's killer. And here's what I got from my research. So you got March 98 was Joe Musso's truck, right? That's the one that had the 4Runner.
Not Adam.
Yeah. And then
Joe Musso's truck, yeah.
And if I remember correctly, I think it was like May 94, they ran a tech article about, it was called The Ultimate Low, but it was about how to body drop your truck. I can't remember if that was yours or not.
No, not the one from 94. It's from 97.
Yeah, dude, that truck, Musso, because that
one
was
that Joe
yes.
It had like fake Antero 143s on it.
Yes.
16-inch wheels and yeah. So that was it was a black and white tech.
Yeah, that truck is amazing. So like when you meet Ryan, you start buying stuff from him, you obviously formed a relationship to a point where he was like, yo, I mean, was he just like, yo, you need a job or what? What's up? When you coming to work for me?
Well, the funny thing is what, like, I never worked for Ryan until, like, we've been friends for about 6 or 7 years before I'd ever actually worked for him. I built him a lot of stuff, and he'd buy stuff from me, and I'd buy stuff from him, but I never worked for him. When I went to work for him, I was working on, so I worked on Monster Garage, and then I went to work for Jesse James. I ran the car department at West Coast Choppers.
Okay.
And then Ryan was filming Pimp My Ride, and he was like, come on, man, you got to come work for me. Come work for me. And me and Jesse got into an argument one day, and I left, and I went to work for him. So that was the first time I'd ever worked for him. That was when we were filming Pimp My Ride. And I worked there for about a year. And then I went to open the shop in Vegas called Outlaw Motorsports.
Okay. Yeah, because you kind of got your feet wet, and you're like, hey, I want to go do my own thing.
Yeah. So it was me, Bobby McCurdy, Ghetto Bob came on board, who's now working on County Cars. Ghetto Ryan was out there, and he had his little shop out there, and so we were sending paintwork to him. So we had a little cool little shop for a while.
What I always thought is if you go back and you look at Alex's Instagram, it's the Alex Who, just how it sounds. You're going to see a lot of different photos, and one of the ones that stuck out to me, I'm a big hip-hop fan. Exhibit obviously was a big part of the show, and I know some people, they loved it, some people hated it. We always enjoyed watching it. How cool was it to work kind of alongside Mr. X to the Z?
Well, so Exhibit was the host of the show, and he was the host of the show because Ryan pushed for him. Him and Ryan were friends. And Exhibit wasn't there except for on the days they did the reveals.
Got it. Yep.
And so they actually hired me to kind of break the back of the production company because the show was aimed at 14-year-old boys. So you'd have producers go, so we're going to have the exhaust is going to blow bubbles. We're going to put a popcorn machine in there.
Right.
Then we need wheat grass growing in the back window. And you're like, hey, that's not going to work. And they're like, no, it's going to be cool. And you're like, no, it's not. That was what my job was. That's what they brought me in to do.
Kind of muscle them a little bit and go, yo, we're going to do it like this.
Just to push back. They had taken over the shop. And, we were getting like, $50,000 an episode. And that was to build the car. So you imagine building one of those cars, how much money it costs. And then the rest of the shop is shut down. You can't do anything else.
Right.
So got pretty bad.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Now, one thing that I thought was interesting, if I remember correctly, like this is going back in my memory from Facebook and stuff, some of your posts, when Ryan has grown over time, and one of the things I think that you had the opportunity to do is help them go global, and that was over in Berlin. Now, is my recollection correct that you helped kind of spearhead that whole project?
Well, so what had happened was we started selling franchises. And the first one that I went to go run was Dubai.
Okay.
So I went to Dubai for a year. I was in Dubai for a year. And I was actually coming back to go to do the one in Japan. There was going to be one in Japan. And I flew home from Dubai, unpacked, rented an apartment, and, had to buy furniture because I'd given away all my furniture and all that stuff. And, Ryan, we're waiting to get the details on Japan, and Ryan goes, "Hey man, we're gonna go to Berlin, or we're gonna go to Germany next week." And I go, "Oh, cool. For how long?" He goes, "Just a week." Mm-hmm. I go, "Cool, because when we leave." And he goes, "We're leaving on Monday," and I go, "Cool, because they're gonna deliver my furniture on Friday." He's all, "Cool." So we get to I don't know, maybe Wednesday, and Ryan goes, "Oh, I forgot to tell you. When we go to Germany, you're not coming back." I go, "Wait, what?"
You're like, "Damn, is this like a mafia hit or what?"
I need you to straighten out this thing over there. It's a mess, man. You need to go over there and set it straight. And I go, "For how long?" He goes, "Man, like 2-3 months tops." So I was over there for 18 months.
Damn. Now let me ask you this: Did you have fun?
Oh man, no. It was same thing with Dubai. Dubai is like, it's like Vegas in the Middle East. There's no gambling, but it's a party town.
Right. So,
it's
and then
crazy.
I got to ask you this then: in Dubai, I forget if it's Dubai. Isn't that where is it alcohol is not legal, but you can kind of get it if you go to the right places?
Okay, so what it is it has to be connected to tourism.
Okay.
So all hotels have bars in them. They build a hotel, if they build an apartment complex, they build a hotel on the end of it and then put
Okay.
Because everybody's great. So like if you want to go, it's like for Salt Lake City, if you're going to buy, you have to go to the state store to buy it for your house.
Right. Yep.
So you have to apply for a license. But I was a celebrity when I was there,
Right,
so they would just
so
sell
you're
it to
good.
me. I was a rock star when I was there.
Yep. Yeah, that's crazy.
So I went from living in this apartment that was, $4,500 on the 27th floor overlooking the Palm Island, right on the beach.
Mm.
So went from living there to in Berlin. I live on the east side of the wall where the wall was. The buildings around you that don't even have power. They got electric, electric cords running to the building for people to have power. People are basically squatting in some buildings over there still. Now,
Fucking nuts.
it's crazy. They'll go, "Oh, we're gonna have beach party." You know what? They come in, they throw down a bunch of sand, they drop a shipping container in every lot. That's a bar. They drop another one that's a DJ booth, and then boom, it's a beach party.
Damn, dude.
I met this girl, and she said, "You want to go to level 7?" And I go, "What's that?" She goes, "Oh, it's a beach club. It's great." I go, "Yeah, sure." She goes, "Tomorrow at 4:00, meet me at the train station. Otskoy's right there, and we'll go." I go, "Cool." So I meet her at I'm at the train station, right there, not too far from my house. And we get on the train, we go to the mall.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, what the hell is this? So we walk into the mall, we're walking through the mall, and I think, oh, she needs a towel, so I don't know what I know what she's doing. We go down, we're walking down this, the second story of the mall, and she turns down this corridor, like one of the little access to the back of the mall, one of those little hallways,
Yes.
long hallway. We're walking down that, we come to some double doors, go through the double doors, there's an elevator, like a service elevator.
You're like, damn, what is she going to do, man?
She presses the button, the elevator door opens up, we get in it, we go to the 7th floor, we get out, we're on the roof of the parking garage.
Okay.
Level 7.
Boom.
There's sand everywhere, beach chairs, umbrellas, a big bar, DJ. That's level 7, baby.
Yeah, you don't need to go anymore. That's the penthouse. Boom, right there.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. You're on the roof of a parking garage, the mall, and that's a beach club.
That's sick, man.
You got sand, you got a beach club.
Yeah, it's different. People, I think, tend to forget. You've been in the U.S. the whole time, whatnot. It is a little bit different outside the U.S. Did you ever get a chance?
Yeah.
I've never been to Germany to go on the Autobahn. You ever make it over there?
Yeah. I lived in Berlin for a year and a half, so I drove on the Autobahn.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
choppers.
Berlin, Germany. I wasn't even thinking. I was like, wait a minute.
me and my friends built mini choppers with 125 engines in them and rode from Hamburg through Denmark down to Sweden. I went to Oslo, Norway.
Really?
To go see the band Turbo Negro. Yeah. So we rode 900 miles on 125 rigid 125 motor mini choppers.
Damn. Yeah, see, that was going to be my next question. If you got a chance to go to any concerts.
Oh yeah, I went to a bunch of them. Berlin, they do a lot of big festivals and stuff. My friend's band Static X was over there. We went and saw them. Saw Social Distortion a couple of times, Motorhead a couple of times. Got to go see Social Distortion, Motorhead, and Iggy Pop,
Really?
all at Spandau Castle.
Damn.
Yeah, so the first show I went to was Motorhead. It was raining. You have to cross over the moat to get into the center of the castle. It was crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah, I remember watching. I got this old Eminem DVD when he toured the world, and he was in Oslo and all these places. And I'm like, damn, dude, there's such a big fan base, even of American bands, dude. They just love it.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I went all the way to Oslo to go see a band from Oslo, Turbo Negro.
Oh, so that is where they're based out of then, out there.
Yeah, they're from Oslo. Yeah. So and this is
Amazing.
right before they changed singers. So now they got a new singer for him. Hank from Hell or Horrible Hank is no longer with the band. But yeah, it was cool.
That sounds like my
So
buddy
we filmed
Ron.
all that whole adventure for the Discovery Channel in Germany. It never aired, but on my website, you can see the trailer for it. It's about 3 minutes long.
Now, what's the website?
Oh, geez, I can't remember my website.
So yeah, I was gonna say just
TheAlexWho.com.
TheAlexWho.com. Got it.
Yeah, and then you have to click. There's a video there. You can see it. It's me and Evil Jared from the Bloodhound Gang, and then one guy was a German movie star, Oliver Krutka, and then one guy was like a moped mechanic, and then the other guy was a action sports guy that rides like mountain bikes, but does like freestyle and all that stuff on a mountain bike. Niels Peter Jensen.
That's sick, dude.
So it was crazy, yeah.
Okay, so let me.
Nice.
One thing that I thought about, doing some of the research is, West Coast Customs. I mean, if you going back to like the days that you became friends with Ryan, is like they have 4 covers in a short span. You got November '96, you got Ryan's 4-door Blazer, January '98, the blue Toyota pickup, October '98, Ryan's epic Mazda with the Colorado custom wheels, and then October '99, the 4Runner. I mean, dude, arguably, during the time that you kind of became friends with Ryan. I mean, it was a hell of a run, dude, and that it seemed like Ryan, he did start truly as a mini trucker. Yeah, he's one of those guys kind of denies about being a mini trucker. Every once in a while, I catch him. Jesse too. Jesse, talk shit about mini trucks. Yeah. But he's a closet mini trucker. You know what I mean? Exactly. Yeah. So, it was all in good fun, the whole Jesse stuff. Yeah, exactly. So like I was there when we shot the cover for the 4Runner. I was actually driving the van that Wes Allison shot the moving shots out of. That's sick. I was out of town for when they did the Mazda. I missed that. That blue Toyota was a customer's car. The one you caught on fire at the shoot. Wes, he commented one day. I had posted something, and he goes, "I remember that caught on fire. There was a little bit of a fire or whatever, but I think that was a customer ride or something." Yeah, it was a customer's car. And then also there was another blue Toyota, Vince's blue Toyota, that light blue one with Axis wheels on it. Yes. Yeah. So that one came out shortly after that too. Yeah, that was a sick truck. We got a lot of coverage. Courtney was the editor of Mini Trucking back then. Yeah, and in Wes, I mean, I can't wait to have him on. He shot all 4 of those, which, again, you kind of had the connection with the same high school and stuff. Yeah, he's 2 years older than me, I believe. Yeah, and people forget that Ryan, back when the 4-door Blazer, November '96, when it aired or when it came out, that was he was back in RA back in those days. Yes. Well, it's funny because, like, there's videotape of Ryan has of like him at a show with that thing. Yes. And I always give him shit. I'm always like, "Hey, is your dad around? We'll talk to him about his truck," because he looks like he's 10. Oh, right. Yeah, because he kind of he had that kind of look. He was like, when I first met him, he was like 21. Right. Yeah, because he's a little younger and stuff. Yeah. Well, I think he just turned. Maybe 40, I think he just turned 45, something like that. 45, yeah, that would have been my guess. Yeah. Did you ever see him as, like, even early in those days or as your friendship progressed, like as an entrepreneur is kind of the way a lot of us look at him. Like he's grown. If you think about the mini truck scene and what he's been able to accomplish, I mean, it's one of the bigger success stories. Okay, so Ryan's the most driven guy I've ever met. I've never met anybody that, when I used to have to go pick him up because he didn't have a car to drive, because he had the 4Runner and he had the Mazda, but he didn't drive those back and forth to work. It was too far. Drive body drop juiced Mazda, so, and then it didn't have like a back window back then and stuff. But anyway, so I used to go pick him up on, when days we'd go into the shop on like Saturdays, I go pick him up and drive him to work to now where he has, Rolls Royce, and he probably has 12 or 13 cars. You know what I mean? He was living with his grandfather, now he's got, I would guess to say his house is probably $4 or $5 million house. You know what I mean? I'm not that, look, I got nice stuff. I got nice things. But I don't got that kind of drive. Right. Yeah. And we all don't. And that's, that's the thing. A lot of people see that and they're like, oh, it must be nice, but they don't realize all the hustle and the years and the pressure on your shoulders to get there. Yeah. Ryan would go to work, Monday through Friday, be there at, let's say he's there at 8 o'clock. He's there till 6 or 7 o'clock at night every day. Every day.
for 20 years.
Yep.
Like I said, so in the end of 98, I think he tells me, I'm going to move the shop to Compton. And I said, for what? He goes, man, I'm going after the Lakers. I go, man, you're crazy. I'll help you. Tell me what you want me to do, but you're nuts, man.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved to Compton and we set the shop up. And within 6 months, we had Shaquille O'Neal as a client. Now, that was the first car we did for Shaquille O'Neal. Done probably 40 cars for Shaquille O'Neal since then.
Wow.
In that 20 years, And within another 6 months, we had the rest of the Lakers. We had them all. And, and you go through every sports, basketball, baseball, all those guys, they all come, being in LA and not in having a West Coast custom car or music, so many guys, so many customers. I went to Gary Dudans from CSI, went to his house and, to sell him on a car and sell him a $250,000 car, a $250,000 bill. This was, that was probably 04.
Wow.
So
some high-end clientele.
A guy building 3 or 4 cars. So,
Yeah, and I tell you, I was watching some of the clips the other day from West Coast Customs, and it was when Shaq seems like one of the nicest guys, and he was talking to Ryan, and
he is a very, very sincere guy. You know what I mean? He's a nice guy.
Yeah, and he asked Ryan something. He was talking about a build, and Ryan's like, "Yeah, I could do it. And he looks at him, and he goes, "Ryan, don't tell me you can do it if you can't do it." Like jabbing him a little bit. And I was like, he seems like the ultimate prankster. Just someone that's always kind of kidding around and shit. But
Will I Am from the Black Eyed Peas, we built a bunch of cars for him, and we always, he always has these crazy ideas and stuff to do, and he'd be in there talking to Ryan, and then he will go, go get Alex. Go get Alex.
Yeah, I want to make sure we can do this.
He's going to ask me because he knows I ain't going to bullshit him. I'm going to tell him, yeah, it's going to be hard, but we can do what's going to, Ryan says, yeah, we'll get it done in 2 weeks, And I'll go, no, that's going to take 6 months. You know what I mean? But, it's pretty funny.
Well, before we talk about some of the other stuff that you've been involved with, I wanted to bring up, rest in peace, Sean Mahaney. I know he worked at WCC for a good bit. What do you remember most about Sean, if that was during some of your time there?
Yeah, I worked with Sean for a few years. You'll hear, I don't know if you'll hear, but you probably will. Me and Sean didn't always see eye to eye.
Right.
I truly liked Sean. He's one of the nicest people you ever met. He one time, it was funny because Bob Grant was there. We're working on a brainstormer for Dubai.
Oh, yeah.
And I cut out a big circle with like a little, like you're talking, like a cartoon. I cut that out of sheet metal. I wrote on it, chicken, cheese, bacon, repeat. Because Sean, but God love him. He did not eat anything green. He ate chicken, he ate bacon, and he ate cheese. And for breakfast, he ate McGriddles. So, he's taking blood pressure medicine and then washing it down with a fried chicken, bacon, and cheese sandwich, So,
yeah, we had him on before his untimely passing, and we kind of got to the end, and he joked with me. He goes, "Well, we have a whole nother, section we could have talked about," and I was like, "Yeah, and I kind of knew, they didn't always."
You could have had him on 10 times.
Yeah, and he
could have had him on 10 times and never got through all the stuff he did.
Yeah, and when towards the when he had to unpass and his untimely passing, he had found his calling with doing the wheelchairs and stuff, and I always thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, that was very cool. Me and Sean just from working together, and we would just like I said, I always loved the guy. I always liked him as a person. Some of his stuff I just didn't go for.
Right.
He was very, very ahead of the game. You know what I mean? He'd come out with ideas for doing stuff. Some of the stuff, it would just eat itself. You know what I mean? So you're making parts move. You're making stuff do. So, like, if I was ever on Junkyard Wars,
Yes.
I would want 5 John Mahaney's on my team.
Yeah, because he could do some crazy stuff, and it's funny when you go back to like Master Image Customs and like Crew Cut and that stuff, like, the innovation that he had. But I'm not a fabricator, so to your point, you see some of these guys will spend a lot of time on a part and go, it's not up to my standards. Okay, throw it away, start over, and it's like when you're running a shop, sometimes maybe that So again, I don't know how to do any of it. I'm just always intrigued on what you guys, what these guys can do. So, but
well, that's like you always want your stuff to be, what always happens, especially in the mini truck world, is you get people that that truck's going to go from 5 to 5 different people. Somebody's going to take the fender out and go, oh, look at this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you got people like, Bobby McCurdy, Bob Grant, Dallas Ellison, some of these guys. And then, there's a whole, the guys over at Little Shop of Horrors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, guys that just do work and then you just go, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like that looks like, like Jim spent $10 million engineering that,
Yeah.
It looks better than that.
Yeah, that's like my homie at Jimmy's Running Customs, taking the brand new trucks.
Yes,
and I know Little Shop has done, obviously that, and Jimmy does it too. And you look at like, all the stuff and you just go, wow. And speaking of, I remember on West Coast Customs when they took the 2 cars and they matted them together. They were one of the first guys, and maybe not the first, but when they would take like the old Charger or whatever, the Challenger, and they matted them together.
So the very first one we ever did was for Gary Dudan. We took a Z06 Corvette and put it under that 65 Chevelle. 67 Chevelle. It called it the Corvelle.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, I remember that.
And then we also did the Charger for him, for Gary Dudan. We did quite a few of those cars.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was blown away. But I want to kind of transition a little bit from West Coast Customs to the other various things you've done in TV. You've kind of hinted at some of them. Talk to us a little bit about Monster Garage, because my understanding is you go back to kind of the OG series as well, right?
Yes, I did about 55 episodes of the original series. So when I had my shop in Temecula, Brand X, and Courtney called everybody about, like, if you watch the first episode, you got it's Negative Camber world. It's Jay LaRosa and Brian Gendro, and so the first 4 episodes I was trying. I wanted to be on there.
Oh yeah.
So I couldn't go. I had to be in court that day or something. So when they brought the series back, and they were going to start filming more episodes, they needed a guy to run the shop. So Courtney said, "You should call Alex." And then Kane Morris, I think, also gave him my name. So they called me and said, "Would you like to come out and talk to us?" I'm like, "Sure." And I'm thinking it's to be on the TV show, because I want to be on the show. And I get out there and they're talking to me for a little while, and they go, "All right, we want you." And so I was working I just had a job that I closed my shop and had a job at a place called Pro Spot, building welders down in Escondido. Mm-hmm. And I only did a couple of months, and so I go, "What about being on the show?" And they go, "Yeah, we'll talk to you about that later." Well, I was on my way home. They called me at home and said, "We got an open spot for the next episode. Somebody just dropped out. It's on the golf ball collector. You want to come be on it?" So the first week of me being on the show, of working there, is I'm on the show as a builder, and nobody in the building except for the 2 producers and Jesse know that I'm there to run the shop.
Wow.
So, yeah. So then I put in, I hired Ben Wood, another Dave Cameron mini trucker, Chris Mikalski, Crash. He was on there, and I had him also working for me on Wheeler Dealer just a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You were connected to that. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I worked there for a while, and then I actually migrated over to work at West Coast Choppers itself for Jesse instead of the production company, and I was the car shop manager. So we built cars for Coors and Motorola, and like Wilder Valderrama, all Jesse's, celebrity friends.
Yeah, the clientele and stuff. And it seemed like it kind of grew because we saw some cool stuff. I remember when, obviously Discovery Channel and Jesse James had began to grow, And I remember going on the website, and I ordered like this cool catalog back then. It was just real nice, kind of like a coffee table type book. And you saw the stuff from it, and you're like, man, this was a really cool brand that he had.
Oh yeah, well, Jesse, I still have both of the two catalogs from when I worked there.
Yeah,
they're super cool. Like,
they were, man. It was like you could tell. And I wanted to stop for a minute too, because when you said Jay LaRosa, I remember, dude, he had that epic S10 with the flames, dude. That was him, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Jay worked in the car department at West Coast Choppers for a while.
Okay.
He was also on the trash truck episode of Monster Garage, which was like the third episode.
Yeah, dude, that's man, you got a good memory. Now, this is something that I've always wanted to kind of ask, and you've kind of hinted a little bit about Monster Garage. Like what was your role? So, like in the beginning, you might have had one role, but it seems like recently, when you kind of got peeled away from Extensive, is your role like to somebody that doesn't know TV world? Are you helping kind of pull the players in, or what did you do recently with the new?
Okay,
series?
so in the first series, my job was. My job today is the same job as it was then, which was shop manager. I ran the shop.
Okay.
But there's also stuff that I always help the producers with. Oh, they need somebody that's going to be good for this. I put one person on at least every other episode during the 50 that I did.
Got it.
I put, Josh Brown from Negative Camber.
Mm-hmm.
I put him on the show. He was on the Wheelie Ambulance. Joe McCluskey, Leaf Eater, that was the partner at Bio Customs. He was on the skateboard ramp. Body drop.
Yes,
I put him in there.
Yeah.
Yep. Ben Wood was on there as on the jet car Celica. Dave Tucci on the what did Dave Tucci do? Dave Tucci was on. God, I can't even.
I know. I was going to say,
on
how you remember all this.
Oh God, it's so hard because 5 guys every 2 weeks.
Right, and then to me, they would all just like mesh together. As far as episodes,
they do. It's hard to remember. And then God, so many people just I put on the show.
Well, I don't know if this one was before your time.
Wookie.
Oh,
Wookie was on. No, Wookie was on the Cadillac Dragster. Yeah, I also had him work. He also worked for me on Wheeler Dealer as well.
Well, okay, so I don't know if this is before your time there, maybe not. My buddy Tony and I were big into Lincolns, right? There was episode 3. I totally forgot. He goes, no, Jay, they had a Lincoln on there. I go, no, they didn't. He goes, no, check it out.
We did have a Lincoln on there.
Yeah, it was the Open Road Racer, I think it was called.
Yes, that was, okay, so what we did was we had a Richard Petty for Petty Racing chassis, and we took a Lincoln and we cut it in half.
And made it a 2-door, right?
And made it a 2-door, shortened it by like 2 feet.
That's the only one that I know of that was customized to do a 2-door. I think I'm 95% sure.
That thing looked so rad. When I saw the thing when it was put back together, I go, oh man, I want to do this for the street.
Yeah.
That thing was badass.
Yeah, my buddy Tony Bolin was like, yo, don't forget about that one.
Yeah.
Now, I remember, you probably remember this episode, one of my brothers, Chad Lucas, right? He had, at the time, he had bought Jew Boy's old full-size. It was IF Customs built. Well, remember the episode where they brought all the mini truckers on and they had the one little clip and it was like the trucks aired out on the outside? I think they drove inside and aired out. That was a cool one.
Okay, so originally we did the OG, all the gangsters.
Yeah.
We had Bill Hines and Gene Winfield. So there was a shop that I worked at, I've worked everywhere. Boyd's, Santini, I worked at Santini's, I worked at Colors by Dave. I worked for, Fat Jack. So we got Fat Jack on there. So who just recently passed too, which is sad.
Rest in peace.
And his son, Johnny Rotten, on there. Well, so I had the idea to do a mini truck. I got this 720 4-wheel drive, and I go, yeah, we're gonna get Bob Grant, and we're gonna get Josh Freeman, and we're gonna get Bill Carlton.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna put together this team like with the OG guys. And one of the producers goes, no, we need to get all midgets and do midget mini truck. And you're like, so that was that idea. So that's probably what you're talking about.
Yeah, and Body Drop, I think he's a good character on the show. We had him on. He's, just a real good guy. I know he's got a good relationship with you and Jesse and those guys.
Yeah. We actually in Dripping Springs, me and him were roommates. So while we're filming the show, me and him were roommates.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, he's a good dude, and he loves his Zap music. I always know, like when I had him on, he goes, "Yo, let's put some Zap on." I go, "All right, I got you, man." Good stuff. Now, talk to us about the reboot, right? From a promo perspective, where do people go? I know Discovery. Is it going to be in the app only? What's all that?
Okay,
deal?
so yeah, this kind of sucks, but it is what it is. The first episode aired on Discovery Channel last week,
Okay.
and then tonight on Discovery. Well, starting today, you can watch it on Discovery Plus, which is a streaming app. It costs $4.95 a month. You get a free week if you want to check it out. You could go on there right now and watch 4 different episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So we only made 8 so far. So I'm waiting right now for the phone to ring for them to call and say, "Hey, we need you back in Texas, and next week we're going to start up again."
Yeah, so to all the mini truckers that are listening, or all the listeners that you found us, go out there, download the app. Listen, even if you only keep it a week, whatever you want to do. Now, I typically,
check it out.
Yeah, I'll download these apps to my Apple TV, right? And I've got the Motor Trend, I've got the Discovery, I've got all these different ones. And dude, it's all on demand, and you just hit the button and you enjoy it. And for $5 a month, man, you can't beat it.
Yeah. So with the Discovery Plus, you get Motor Trend and you get all those other ones.
Oh, right. There you go. So right there.
Yeah.
It's
So,
working.
if you watch Car TV, you can get them all. And for another $2, you could go commercial free.
Love it. You don't even have to pay separate processing, Alex. I love it, man. We need a little infomercial, man. I fucking love it, dude. What's your favorite thing so far about the reboot? Like maybe something behind the scenes or just something you're excited about?
I'll tell you what, so when I got to Austin, like Dripping Springs, when I got there, I walked in the building, and I walked in and it felt like the Monster Garage. I've been a part of all 3 of the buildings that it's been in now.
Mm-hmm.
And, they were doing the blessing of the tools. They had the priest come down and do the blessing of the tools. And I was standing there around the corner, like off camera on the set, just listening. And it was surreal. It had been, almost 18 years since I started there. So it's been 18 years. It was in August. It was 18 years that we filmed the episode 7, which was a golf ball collector with me and Eric Scarlett.
Wow.
There's another mini trucker for you.
Yeah, so I was gonna say. I was like, wait, I know that name.
So that was so cool, and to be, to come back and see this thing happening again, it's surreal, man. It's, and the builds have stepped it up. They're, some of the builds, that Pulse Jet, we already had one failure, the boat, and they took Dylan minigun to it from a helicopter, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then, tonight I think today was the gas powered or the wood powered Corvette.
Man.
So all the builds have been, they've been challenging. It's not like we just went, "Oh, cool, let's just do this to make it easy." No, and Jesse's been in the shop. He gets there at 7:00 in the morning sometimes, sometimes 8, but most times it's, like there's times where you get there and he was already there.
Mm-hmm.
and working. Back in the old days, he'd come in, he was running the West Coast choppers and all the other stuff he was doing. So he might come in and put 2 or 3 hours in, but he's putting in 10 hours, a day on all these builds. So it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, he's an unreal craftsman and things like that.
The guy can build such crazy stuff, man. You watch him build something and you just go, how do you even, see that? You know what I mean? It's pretty cool.
True craftsman.
And we got great sponsors, Snap-on, Miller, Highline, so that's cool too. So
yeah, it is cool. And one thing I was going to bring up is I've seen other guys out there like Rob Rodell, right? Guys like him.
Rob,
so tell us a little bit about maybe a few of the guys that you've helped maybe bring on this year.
Well, this year it's just been Rob.
Okay.
I needed somebody to help me out. It gets crazy when they're filming. This is the thing. You film for 5 days, and then you reset the garage over the next 5 days, and you start again. But in between that, you're doing other stuff. Now the cars are being finished at West Coast Choppers, so there's just so much to do. You got to run and get parts. So, and I don't leave the building when I'm there. If the builders need anything, they need to find me. So I brought in Rob, and he just killed it. He just killed it. So
yeah, he's old school mini trucker, and he's passionate what he does.
Yeah, me and Rob go back about 23, 24 years.
Yeah, you remember after Lomigo, it was the Nissan. It was one of the first street trucks, that little cruise they went all the way over there, and he had one of the first Frontiers laid out.
Right over by my house. I live right down the street from maybe 10 miles down the freeway from the dinosaurs on the 10th.
Oh, really? It's funny. Yeah. You mentioned Sal's name earlier. We just put Sal Marchese's, I think I'm saying his name right.
That.
We did the shirt, and there's an epic old photo of his truck at those dinosaurs.
That's from that tour.
Yeah, and that's that was also, remember, one of the first street trucks when Courtney and them went on that big long, I think Todd and the guys from down here, and Tim, I think it was Tim's brother Todd went, but NC Florida linked up with Courtney and those guys, and they went through that area when they were a long road trip,
Yeah, they went to Heatwave.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, dude, man, you got a freaking awesome memory. You got to get you on board with the podcast.
It's just, there's so much stuff in there. It's funny because I can remember, like a song will come on and I'll go, oh man, I know all the lyrics of the song I haven't heard in 20 years.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you what I had for lunch yesterday.
Yeah, man, I'll be like driving down the road and I'll think of some lyrics and I'm like, I'll go into my YouTube music or something and I'll be like, I gotta listen to this song now. It's crazy. Yeah. But one of the things I wanted to ask you as we kind of wind down a little bit, but looking back at at all the memories and thinking back, what do you most appreciate about kind of the truck scene? Because you've been doing this, arguably longer than most, man.
The thing is I am a mini trucker. I said this when I was inducted into the Hall of Fame and all that. People always go like, oh yeah, I started in mini trucks and then now I'm a hot rodder, or and I ain't that arrogant, man. This is, I don't care if I'm 58 years old. I got a mini truck that I got more money in than I care to say, but that's who I am, man. If I'm 90 years old and I can still drive, I'm going to be wiggling my ass into a mini truck. Yeah. There's still 3 or 4 of them in my mind that I still want to build.
Yeah.
I got probably 10 cars in my mind I still want to build. At the rate I'm doing it, my Tacoma's been apart for 18 years.
Yep. And that's over at DVS Customs now, right?
It's over at DVS right now. Yeah, Jeff just did a back half on it with a Mazda RX-7 rear end, a Lexus V8. Bobby James had already suicided the doors. The bed's all shaved. I sheet metaled the bed floor. It's fully shaved. Yeah, the list just goes. Got a big giant rag top in it. We did as Bill Hancock built me a set of 20-inch Porsche alloys. So there's 20 by 8.5 in the front, 20 by 9.5 in the back.
Fucking awesome.
Got Ron Davis radiator in it. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little truck when I get it finished one day.
Yeah, well, that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I thought was pretty cool is dvscustoms.com. You can go out there and visit Jeff's site. Jeff helped me a lot on my Lincoln with some of the parts that he sells. They got compressors, they got everything. So dvscustoms.com, hit up Jeff Davey. But for some reason, I got confused when I would see the mini truck that Mike Finnegan had, right? For some reason, I kept thinking of your truck.
White trash.
White trash. Okay, so that one did go to him.
So that was a truck I bought from Little D from Dirt Every Day.
Okay.
So I bought that truck for $2,000 from Little D as a driver, and I was actually getting ready to move to London. I was working at West Coast Customs, like getting ready to move to London to go do a shop out there for the Disney family.
Wow.
And so I started, it was airbagged in the back over the axle, and it didn't have any air, didn't have any compressor or anything there. So I got with Viair, and they got me some compressors, and then Reno over at AccuAir sent me a AccuAir kit for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we bagged it and pulled it all apart and painted it white real quick. And I had a set of wheels that were at Asante that Asante had made for me that were for the Tacoma originally until we built those Porsche alloys, and just kind of threw the truck together. And it sat in my garage while I lived in London. And then when I came back and I was working at Wheeler Dealer, Ant helped me get a set of Webers for it. So we did some stuff to it real quick, put together. I took it out to LST 2 years ago, and then I took it to Forbidden Fantasy. I took it to a local show, but I wasn't driving the damn thing. It was just sitting.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, life, like you said, life gets in the way. You're busy, man.
Yeah. So, I put on Facebook, think about selling white trash. A couple of people had, said that they were interested in buying it. And then Finnegan sends me a message. Hey, man, you really serious about selling your truck? And I'm like, well, I'm thinking about it. He goes, well, what do you want for it? I go, well, I'm thinking 10, but for you, we'll talk. So we started going back and forth. And by the end of that phone call, Finnegan had bought my truck.
Nice. Yeah, he's a mini trucker at heart. We've had him on. Great guy.
Well, it's funny because he was talking. He got inducted to the Hall of Fame at the same time as me. So we were sitting next to each other on the induction thing. And he was talking about, he goes, man, the first show I went to when I got the job for Mini Truck, when he came out here, Mini Trucking, he came to a show out here in Murrieta that I was putting on with another club that I used to be with. And he came up to cover that show. So his first thing on coming out to work for Mini Truck was a show that I was putting on. Yeah.
Was he in the RV? Remember when he came out from New York?
Actually, he was driving his truck, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I think he towed it out.
He's been out here
for
a little bit. Yeah, he's been out here for a little bit already. Like maybe a week.
Yeah, another guy that's very, he's a humble guy. He's had good success, but obviously a lot of hustle.
So for sure, he, when we were being inducted to the Hall of Fame, so it was me, Steve Nielsen from Altered Images, Ghetto Ryan Evans from from Counting Cars, and Finnegan, and the captain was inducting me, and he's all, yeah, did you ever think that Ryan and Finnegan were going to be more famous than you?
That's good shit. Yeah, I wasn't able to be there that year, and I saw some of the highlights when I think Radar had live streamed it through our family at the West Coast Influence. And it's so awesome to me to think back because I got in the trucks. This is about my 25th year going to shows. Started really going to mini truck shows in '96, and a lot of my buddies back in the day were like, oh man, you traveled. Some of the Texas guys were like, man, we see you everywhere. But, to me, it was so important to go out and go to as many shows as I could because I met, I have these stories like you do, these relationships that we built. And then, you fast forward 25 years, you're dabbling in TV as you've done for a long time. And I love doing the podcasting because I can link up with someone like you. We may not be best friends, but, I remember, just funny stuff, hanging out around you and things like that. And to me, that's what it's about, man, kind of reflecting a little bit.
Oh, yeah. People always go, oh, yeah, well, you don't bring your trucks to show. I haven't brought my truck anywhere in 18 years. But I go to shows. I've been to shows. I've been to shows in England. I've been to shows in, Germany. I've been to shows in Dubai. I've been to shows in, Alabama. I've been to shows across this country pretty much, and it's great. I mean, I know a lot of people. I don't know them as well as I'd like to. And, sometimes I can't remember.
Yeah. I
run into somebody and go, hey, Alex, what's happening, man? And I'm like, I don't remember who you are.
Yeah,
you don't never say that. But you feel bad because, I might have met 100 people that weekend, So,
well, our buddy,
you understand.
Yep, our buddy Joe Hernandez in the Airhead Nation Facebook group, he said, so I asked any questions, couple came in. What shows is Alex planning in 2021? Do you think you'll be able to sneak away? I know you got a busy schedule, maybe hit, one or Lone Star Throwdown. I know that's coming up too.
LST is coming. I've only missed one of them so far.
Awesome.
Since Radar and Lonnie started it. I'm not going to make it this year. You know, I've been
Yep.
home since September from when we finished principal photography on Monster Garage,
Mm-hmm.
the reboot. I'm getting a little stir crazy. I need to get out of the house. Me and my girl are planning to get married. Just after SEMA, November 5th. So that's in the works. We're planning that right now. So that's taking up a little bit of my time. I'd like to say I'm going to try and hit Battle at Bama.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. It's all, right now it's about putting money into the bank.
Yep.
I'm going to have 150 people at my wedding, and they all drink a lot. I plan on, having plenty of booze for everybody. So
I love it, man. I definitely love it. Let me see here. My buddy Ron from Hammered Weekend Wear, of course, he had asked a little bit about some of the Berlin stuff, so we did talk about that and the shows that you've been involved. Now, I can't end without you brought up Wheeler Dealers. I don't know what it is. I absolutely love the show. Now, they were originally in England and they came over to the U.S. I don't know what it is.
Yes.
That the show was well produced. I've always liked the show, but my wife used to call the one guy, which I don't think you worked with him over this side, the Oompa Loompa guy is who she called him because he had the big gloves, the orange ones over on the other side of the pond.
Okay, so that's Ed China.
Yeah,
Ed
and
China
I tell you
came
what,
over here.
I always liked when he was on there, but that's when that was only when he was over in England, right? Or did he ever come to the
No.
US?
He came over here and did one season. They brought
Okay.
the show over here. Him and Mike Brewer. He had quit the show over control. He was trying to get more control of the show, so he quit. They, Discovery Channel had bought the show from them, and they
Okay.
own it now. And they're like, "Okay, you're gone. Bye." They hired Ant Anstead and brought him over here from
And he's
England
done
to do the
good.
show.
Yeah, and he's done well, I
The
thought.
show's now over. The show's now going back to England. They're
Okay.
done with their run of it over here. They just finished principal photography about 2 weeks ago. I did season 14, I believe, 13 or 14. They did 2 more after I left, but they were the people that that I'd hired, Wookie and Kurt.
Mhm.
So Kurt was on there. Dallas Elson was on there for a while. All that stuff is done by a shadow garage
Yeah.
that you don't see.
Yep.
Okay. I hired that whole staff. Steve Koyman was one of the mechanics. And then Crash was running the shop over there after I left.
Mhm.
So,
Well,
so,
and
I've worked on, let me, I set up the Diesel Brothers shop for season 1.
I
I was there for about a year. What else have I done?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, and then when I look at your Instagram, I mean, I want to eventually have Pin on. I know he used to go by kind of Pin did it, but I mean, from everyone from Courtney to Adam, from Severed, my brother, Big Time Threads, of course, Pin did it, Santini, Wes Allison, I mean, Bobby McCurdy. I mean, a lot of these OGs, man. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. Dude, you have to, at some point, maybe not right now, you got this whole, wedding stuff, and congrats on all that. But, man, you got to sit down one point in your life and write a fucking book, dude. I'm telling you. I mean, dude.
There's a guy that he lives in Japan now, and he does stuff for a bunch of the bike magazines. But he worked on Monster Garage with me in the original thing. And he would, we'd be talking, and I'd be starting to tell a story, and he'd say, dude, you got to write a book. And as soon as I learn how to write, I will write a book.
Well, you get one of those ghost people that, you tell them all the stories and they write it, but, But seriously, man, I mean, you kind of have, and I mean this with all due respect, kind of this kind of, like rock star, and I know, you don't look at it like that, but, you've been around, you've done some cool stuff, you've dabbled, you're
I've been blessed. I've been
Yeah.
blessed for sure. When I was a kid, when I was 14 years old, I knew what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a custom car painter. I wanted to be like Pete Santini. And back then you'd be lucky, if you made 60 grand a year, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I've lived in London, I've lived in Germany, I've lived in Dubai. In 2008, I was in 13 different countries in that 1 year.
Damn.
So yeah, I mean, I've been truly, truly blessed. Mini trucking and custom cars has given me everything, man. Everything I've ever asked for and more.
Yeah, and more. Yeah, a lot of good relationships, guys that are with us, some that are unfortunately no longer, but I mean, friendships that'll last forever. I mean, stories that'll, honestly be passed down generations. And, it's great that you got your fam, your daughter, like you said, I think is going to be 25.
My daughter's going to be 25, and then I have a 10-year-old that lives in Berlin from when I was over there doing West Coast Customs in Berlin.
Oh, wow. Awesome, man.
So, yeah, my little German daughter, Olivia.
Awesome, dude.
Call her Olive.
You go back from the late 70s and the 80s, 90s, and you think about the decades, and you just keep knocking them down. And, I wish you all the success. I say it all the time to our guests, but, someone like you, man, you got a lot of connections, and I appreciate, just as a fan, as a friend, as a homie, a colleague in the scene, being able to watch the content that you've dabbled in and you've been a part of, because you know what, it's what we love, and who doesn't want to watch it? So I'd encourage everyone, download the Discovery app, go out there, stream as much as you can, show these network heads that we love this shit.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that, because that's the next job I get or don't get.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, man. Well, dude, I want to just ask you, is there anything else that you wanted to share, or did I forget anything major?
Well, I just want to say this. I'm honored to be on this. The people that you've had on the past, the people that you will have, and that anybody wants to hear my stories is it's very cool. It's very cool. Like, it's a shining moment for me, for sure. So I appreciate that. I want to see one of those Sal shirts for sure. OLP.
Oh, we'll take
Sal
we'll take care of that. And we appreciate it. We've had a lot of OGs on, and we're going to have a lot more. And we've got some big names this year, Steve Stillwells and stuff, that have been on our list, and even yourself. And to be able to take the time and just kick back and reminisce a little bit. I got to say this, you're going to laugh. I went to SEMA like 2014, 2015, or 2015, 2016, and I was staying in a room next to where you were staying. Okay, and I don't know if you remember, you walked out in the hall the next night, and I said, holy shit, I couldn't even sleep last night. The fucking rock star party that was going on in there. And I was like, damn, she was having a good time, whoever was there. That's all I'm saying, man. If I need to edit it out, I will. But I was like, damn, this guy, man, he knows how to party. So it's all good, man. It's all
I'm
love.
sorry about that.
No, it's all love.
So
man.
Next time for sure, we got to, we got to get together.
Yeah,
if you're out here in the Palm Springs area, I'm right here, and I do get around a little bit. So
yeah, I got to make it out there. Our friend John Cashman works on the Lincoln Continental cars. He lives out in Palm Springs. I know Jeff a couple times has said, "Hey, if you come out, we'll do some podcasting out here." And I know he's a great guy. Riverside, I don't know how far that is from there though.
It's not too far. Jeff shop's about maybe 40 miles.
Okay.
I got to get over there and see my truck and talk to him. And if you need help getting anybody else that
that would be awesome.
I'm always happy to help.
Yeah, Ruben Arteaga. Ruben Arteaga helps us a lot. Yep.
What's that?
I said Ruben Arteaga, who he helps a lot too.
Yeah, I know Ruben. Yeah. And Steve Stillwell I've known since I was a kid at Santini.
Oh, dude.
When he was working for trucking.
Yep. Yeah, he's an OG, and it'll be an honor to get him on. But I'll definitely keep in touch, man. And like I said, dude, it's great sitting down and joking around and having a good time, brother.
Yeah, whatever I can do, anytime, give me a shout. Thank you for having me and boring all your audience to death.
Ah, man, it's gold. It's gold, Jerry. It's gold, like they said on Seinfeld. It's gold.
Well, let me know what everybody says. I'd like to hear the feedback.
Oh, yeah. The ratings are going up by the second. We appreciate that, Alex.
All right, brother.
We got you.
All right. We talk soon.
Yeah. Yo, so there you have it. It's a wrap. Man, it's hard going back and listening to that audio because I tell you, I had such a good time. I remember it vividly speaking with Alex. And, I didn't say this earlier, but one thing that was really cool about Alex is he mentioned it, that he would always try to pay it forward. So, like, if he was able to get in somewhere and he got his footing, he was always looking out for the next person. And we heard that, in the Rob Rodell example. Rob talked about it too a little bit when he was on. So tip of the cap to not only Rob and all the people over the course of time that Alex was able to network with, but to all of the NC members out there. I mean, there's a strong group, and many of you guys loved him like a brother. I've talked to some of you, and, he's going to be dearly missed, and it's crazy. 100% he's gone way too soon. But I'll tell you this, man, I love the fact that Alex was always looking out, and that's important to me because, as I've gotten older, a lot of the things that I always think about is paying it forward, giving dues, giving props to people that have done things that are great. And, Alex may not, I don't know, he may not have had the most vehicles over the course of time, but like we've always told our kinfolk in our local chapter that, it's not the person that builds the most vehicles or has the most chrome or has the craziest vehicle that maybe makes the biggest impact in the scene. Like you can go to shows and, not have a vehicle at every event, but, you have your place in the scene, whether it's, you're tied into the TV stuff, you're a photographer, you're maybe just a promoter that, of course, had some cool stuff over the years. But regardless, we all kind of play a role, so to speak, in this scene of ours. And, Alex certainly had a huge impact. If you look at the thumbprint, if you will, that he left, going even back to, as much as some of us will laugh about, the Pimp My Ride days. Again, going back to that, that was a springboard to a certain extent. And obviously you could spin that a couple ways, but, to have Ryan chime in. And the last thing I'll say, again, it was cool to see Ryan chime in. Ryan had shared a video last year that we had kind of edited, that I had edited, that was from Steve Nielsen, right? That old VHS tape that I always talk about. And it was Ryan's Mazda back in 97, 98. And if it wasn't for Alex making the connection with Ryan, I got on the phone with him one day and talked to him for like 20 minutes just shooting the shit. Super cool, off the record. And, then Ryan obviously knew us, and then he shared that video at some point for us. And, for him, the amount of followers he has over on West Coast Customs and, at Ryan on Instagram, that was a huge thing for us. But, again, it goes back to Alex, because Alex was there going, hey, Jay, I know you want to get Ryan on. I know you want Ryan to tell a story. Ryan's a mini trucker. Let me connect you with him. Here's his information. Hit him up. I talked to him. You're going to be calling him. Like, dude, again, that's the kind of guy Alex was, always looking out. So rest in peace, man. That's all I can say. Last thing, you guys know I love music, hip-hop. We joke around a lot about it on this podcast, but we lost a hip-hop West Coast guy, CPO, and many of you guys don't maybe know him. MC Ren produced his album back in the 90s, which, he's kind of cut from that cloth of Eazy-E, NWA, all of that. A lot of unreleased stuff or stuff that isn't available on streaming is out there. He had a song, of course, on the Above the Rim soundtrack, but one of his most famous songs was Ballad of the Menace, where MC Ren kills it on that track. If available for streaming, if you've got streaming services, check out CPO. What was cool is he followed me, I think on Twitter, maybe even on Instagram, and he would chime in from here and there. And if I ever tagged him, like in, Above the Rim soundtrack or some other kind of obscure stuff, maybe his first album on LP, he would always either comment and say, hey, thanks. And he had some motivational stuff here and there, but, don't really know the cause of death, but rest in peace to him. You'll see me in my personal Instagram at BD94S10 over the next week or so, probably pay a little bit of homage to him. And, may not have been a household name, but certainly played a role in hip-hop in the West Coast for sure. With that being said, have a safe weekend, everyone. EBGD, right, Eastbound Get Down, is next weekend. We're looking forward to that. I'm not going to be able to make Frank's this weekend, so Diesel Wheels, that whole giveaway, you can go on Diesel Wheels' Instagram, and you can see how you can buy the tickets for this weekend for the giveaways. So there's that. So I won't be there next weekend. And I'm also not going to make the bowling tournament, which is, those two things are this weekend, just because I'm going to be laying low here. I've got a bunch of stuff I've got to do and get sorted out here. And lastly, I think, thank you so much to Custom Car Show Productions. Their next event, of course, Orange Beach Invasion. And lastly, early February is Kern County Showdown. And, of course, we'll talk to Corey more as we get closer to Mini Truck Showdown, first weekend in Vegas. Next week, we'll try to cover those few shows. We didn't do it this one that we're going to be at this coming year. And with that being said, I've said way too much. Rest in peace, Alex. Rest in peace to everybody out there that we're losing. Betty White, Bob Saget. We didn't even get a chance to talk about that. We'll hit that next week. Be safe out there. Stay on the rise. And rest in peace, Alex Hu.